then give us a call sign. Or beat it. Let's play a game. Then give us a call sign. Or beat it. Let's play a game. Then give us a call sign.
What is up, everybody?
Or beat it. Let's play a game. Get your panties out of a
All right.
Then give us a call sign. Or beat it.
My eyes have been weird all day today. Anyway, how's it going? This is the after chat. This is us trying to answer your questions, help you get... What's going on here? Come on, camera. What are we doing? We're working today? Okay. This is our opportunity to talk with you and help you get the questions you're looking for to get on the air. And yeah, it doesn't have to be amateur radio specific. You'll find that a lot of guys that are into amateur radio, they're also into CB, FRS, GMRS, the whole 9 yards. So don't worry about it. Ask your questions. We're happy to help. So how this works, we'll take your questions live on YouTube. But if you take the time and join us on the Discord, there's a chat room called #live-stream and #live-stream/voice. The voice chat is us talking, and you can ask your question with your own voice, and we can respond to you just like humans do. Make sure if you do that you need to set a microphone and a speaker connection on your Discord settings on the application, okay? That way, you'll be able to talk directly to us. And while you're there, go ahead and PTT as well. Oh, volume low. Yeah, I'm going to... Yeah. All right, hold on. I'm going through the process of messing with my audio again. K6EGG is confident he can sort me out. So we'll see how that works. Well, it's going to be, we'll be all willy wonky when we get into the Discord. The problem is I'm so loud, I need a physical compressor at this point. I can't do software compressors anymore. I get a couple of the adult beverages in me in the live after chat, and I just end up clipping everything, clipping it out. And that's just because I have a very loud voice. If you've ever met me in person, I'm extremely loud. I've gained it. Are we good on the gain? Do we need more gain? Yes, thank you for the yeah. How am I doing on the gains? My dad was basically deaf. And so I just yelled my entire life. Not even yelled, just like really learned to project. Mr. Busy Pants, it's okay. You can ask your question in chat. You just type it out. Me also am very loud. Yes. All right. Well, we'll sort it out when we get into the after chat with everybody. But what we normally do is go straight to questions. However, I'm going to break the ice with everybody with this. What is the one thing that you brought onto an activation or a camp out or some kind of field radio thing that you regret bringing? And I have a big one that I actually captured on video that I'm going to show you after we get into there. So let's go ahead and hop in and say hi to our friends. Oh, friends. That's really funny. Did he even notice? He didn't. Oh.
Hey, Josh.
Hey. Wow, you guys were quiet. That scared me. How's it going, everybody?
No. Good evening, Josh.
It was good until Mike started asking the questions about SO239 versus NMO.
Yeah, Mike's trying to start fights.
Well, there was a lot of fighting going on.
The question was asked in the chat.
I heard Jamp Scan going back and forth with NMO, and then Adam got involved. So I'm curious now. What was the question?
And basically NMO versus SO239 for like a mag mount, specifically a mag mount.
NMO, 100%.
The NMO was purpose built.
Yeah.
In the 60s by Motorola to be a sealable antenna connection through either a vehicle body or through the body of whatever it was to be mounted for. It was designed as a waterproof connector.
But we're asking for a mag mount.
Yeah.
It's a sealable connector. There's 2 rubber gaskets on an NMO mount, so regardless of whether
of course,
regardless of whether that is a mag mount or what have you, the NMO is a watertight connector.
But you still have to put on a third of a tube of RTV to make it sealed.
No, you don't.
In an NMO mount, and been doing this for a long time. There's a thin film of dielectric grease or Vaseline or silicone, whatever you want to
That's
put
what
on
I
the
do.
rubber gasket that usually sits underneath when you put it onto the body. But generally, there's nothing that you have to put on. If you buy a real, well-made NMO mount, it is a waterproof connector out of the box.
Yeah, they're very good.
So
I love them.
Is Browning not good enough, or Tram, or any of those?
I run a Browning, and it seems to give me no issues, and I run a mag mount.
I run a Tram, and I've had no problem. But I run lots of antennas. I've had no problem with the Tram.
Mine the other day got wet on my 10 meter BR, whatever it was, 140. And yeah, I'm not so sure of selling that as a great thing anymore. But it might just be the O-ring. I don't know.
Yeah, I would look at the O-rings. Again, it's how well it's machined, how well it's built. There's a lot of stuff on Amazon that looks right, but it's just not machined correctly. And there are tolerances and there are real NMO mounts and there are not. I can say that.
I got mine from the local communication shop, so
there you
I'm
go.
going to assume it's good. So.
Every vehicle mount for both municipal, commercial, government, if it's on a vehicle or if it's on a train or if it's on something that moves, it's on an NMO mount.
All right. I love this talk. Let's come back to it. Because sure. I love this. But normally we go straight to questions, but I wanted to pose this, and you guys need a moment to think about it. I'm doing the opposite of my live stream video, right? So my live stream, I was talking about all my favorite things when I go out and do portable radio stuff. I want to know, if you got one, let's start with one. Go around the room. What's an item you regretted taking into the field? Does anybody have a good example of something they regretted taking into the field and they never take it into the field again? Because I have one.
I got one.
Go for it.
My Chameleon M-Pass.
Chameleon M-Pass.
Regret buying it. Regret taking it in the field.
Whoa.
Doesn't
okay.
work.
What happened? What happened? What's the story behind that?
So they advertise like, hey, you should be able to get like at least moderate, okay SWR levels with it, and I can't tell you how many radials I put on it and everything, trying to get this dang thing to get under a 5-to-1.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and
so the tuner didn't work?
No, yeah, the tuner I had, it couldn't match 5-to-1 very well.
Oh,
it wasn't a very good tuner.
5-to-1, really? It was that high?
Yeah, it was yeah, on pretty much all the bands, it was 5-to-1.
That doesn't sound right. That sounds like there was a problem there. They're normally, so there's a couple of bands where they're within one something, and then the rest of them you have to tune them out. They shouldn't be uniformly one thing.
No, it wasn't uniform. No, but
okay.
But the bands that I wanted to operate were, and it didn't do what I wanted it to do, and I'm not gonna lie, I really regret buying it when I could have, for a quarter of the price, could have just bought a PackTenna and have one of those, and that thing works every time.
Yeah, is that what you use now?
Yeah, I use PackTenna, and I also, don't get me wrong, I'm not just shitting on Chameleon. Sorry, pardon the language. I'm not just saying Chameleon bad, but because I have their 49-to-1, their their 40-10 something or other. That thing works great.
Yeah,
amazing antenna. So it's just that antenna that I had an issue with from them.
Very good. All right. Who else? Anybody else got another one? I'll show you.
Can
you hear me, Josh?
I can hear you now.
The G Gable GRA 7350T. I will never take that in the field ever again.
What
that is
the
the
heck
worst
is that?
antenna to
What?
try.
What?
It's on Amazon.
Okay, hold on. I gotta look. I gotta pull this up. Hold on.
Yeah, GRA. It's the GRA 7350T.
Okay, I was not ready. Hold on. Jesus.
You can mount that to the side of the balloon there, Shane.
You can throw that thing in the trash is what you could do.
It's a GRA what?
7350T, as in Tom.
Okay, I think I found it. Let me see.
That'd be Tango, Shane.
Oh, I have this antenna.
Standard NATO phonetics.
I have this antenna. What? Okay.
Dude, it's terrible.
So-
I have the little tripod for it.
Did you
and I
give
have
it a
taken
lot of
it out
radials?
Yes.
Okay.
I have tried every configuration on this planet, and I cannot get that thing to tune anything.
Oh no.
The MFJ version of that.
It is basically. Yeah.
It worked fairly okay.
Fairly okay. Yes, indeed.
I mean, enough for to do a video.
How many watts did you put through it, Shane?
100 watts.
Oh man, and it's still nothing.
And it's still nothing.
That coil though,
I'm done.
that coil is not going to be a winner. You don't want to run it with that coil.
No.
You want the
not at all.
extendo. That's
Well, I mean, they
hilarious.
sent it to me and said, "Hey, can you do a video on this?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Sure." And I set it up, and then I emailed them back, and I was like, "You don't want me to do a video on this,
So
because it won't be pretty."
I'll share you mine. I'll share you mine. There's nothing wrong with this antenna. What's that? Somebody gonna say something?
Oh, yeah, because I had the problem he's talking about, and what I found was there's a little rubber ring that you got to put in there to separate the base from where you screw it in, and if you don't do that, you won't get separation, and so it literally shorts out, and the SWR goes through the freaking roof.
Ah,
Are we talking about the one that's $140 or the one that's $24?
It's $140.
Yeah.
Okay, I just looked it up too, and there were two of them with the same exact model number with $100 price difference. So just curious.
Yeah, Don, I'll double check that. But I thought there was an O-ring in there, but I'll double check it. I still have it in the back of the truck because it's been bouncing around in there for about a year and a half because I just was so angry at it. I was like, I'm not even taking it back in the house. If it survives, it survives.
I've used mine several times, and and I was at a club event, and I'm like, "Why want this tune? Why want this tune? Why want this tune?" And I looked over on the park bench that I was on, and there was this little plastic part, and I was like, well, "Did that fall out of the box?" So I went over and took and looked at it. Oh, it goes right, and after that, it was perfect.
Really?
Yeah, and I've used them several times since. It works great for me.
Now the tripod that they sell is fantastic.
I do like the tripod. The tripod's great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody else have like that? Did you get the idea? What's the worst thing you ever brought into the field, or you regret? Go ahead, James.
And this is it's broken. LDG LT 100 tuner on 15 meters.
It's just broken.
And yeah, I put it on for a winter field day in 15 meters, and it just drove me nuts. I couldn't hear anything. I'm like, what's wrong?
A good example.
Then I took it off, and I was running a resonant antenna, but I was going to go to 17 meters because it was winter field day, and I just wanted to play Parks on the Air. And then, yeah, I took it out, and it was great after that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. That's funny. So I'll show you mine. So this was years ago. When was this? 6 years ago. Okay, 6 years ago. This is the first time I met Jerry in person. And he's like, I failed a soda attempt. And he's like, I'm going to take you on a soda. We both live by San Juan Hill, which is a one-pointer. Now, San Juan Hill is not a difficult hike. It's a one-pointer. But as many a soda guy will tell you, it's longer than it should be for 1 point. It's a lot of work for 1 point. So Jerry, if you didn't know Jerry, his job in the military was rucking, like competition level rucking, which is hiking with a backpack basically in the military. So Jerry's like ready to go at all times. And he saw me, and I'm putting all this crap in this backpack, and I start going, and I'm just sucking wind the whole time. And the reason is because I dragged out the freaking MFJ big ears on this.
That are much easier to get to.
So hold on,
this one and getting the. It's gonna get. But of course, though, he's
so here it is. I dragged out a tripod with two 17-foot stainless steel whips and the little tuning basket with the coils. And it was just so overkill because all I was running was the 5101.
Seat set up and
hold on, let me get this for a second. It was, and here's Jerry with his speaker wire dipole that took him 2 minutes to set up, and he ended up, of course, making more contacts than me. But by the time we were done and we were packing everything down, I'm like, oh man, now I got to hike this whole thing out. I was thinking about just throwing the tripod into the into the field. So I learned a valuable lesson that day. That was the day where I was like, you know what? You can pack a lot lighter, and it'll serve you really well. And that's why I've driven for finding lightweight stuff like all the time. Let me see if there's a part. Yeah. So there's Jerry activating. But let me go back. Oh, that was also when the 5105 overheated because it was in direct sunlight. I thought there's a picture of where I show the backpack. Yeah, there it is. There. Hold on, let me go back.
Here's my pack with my way too big antenna mass. I've got to figure something out for that.
So there you go. That was me doing my video thing back in the day. 6 years ago. Oh man. Anyway, all right. Who had another one? You got another one on the Discords? Anybody?
So I have one. It's a little more of a philosophy.
Oh, okay. We're getting all brainy with it. Let's go.
Well, so what I started to realize was there was a trend. The trend was if I ever had multiple types of connectors with me, I was just begging for disaster. So like I basically standardized. There's like I'm going BNC. If anything in my kit demands an SO239, I'm going to get in trouble because I'm going to be missing an adapter and I'm going to have half as many or less additional ways to work around it. So I just finally was like, nope, I'm doing it. All BNC or all NMO.
Yep. I agree. I like it. Except sometimes it's difficult to do that where you have like an antenna you really want to use and it's SO239 and your radio's BNC. So do you go so far as to make a coax run that is PL239 PL259 on one side and BNC on the other?
I mean, yes, I have that one, but that is like, if I'm going to do that, I like know that that's what I'm doing, and then I will be fully prepared to know that that's the configuration I'm supporting. Because otherwise, it's like I'm one adapter away from just nope. And like I failed activations, and I've been sitting there feeling super stupid because there's one tiny piece of metal I don't have.
So John in the Discord saying just use an adapter. He's saying he knows that, but you inevitably will lose or forget an adapter. Trust me, if you activate long enough, you will screw up an activation because of a missed adapter.
I got an add-on to that.
Uh-huh.
So I just use the UHF male connector like everybody else, but I put BNC connector and then the BNC on both sides, and then the connector in between them is the double female. So I've got them all.
Oh, I see. So on your coax end, your lead, you have two adapters on each run, and then you put the barrel connector on top of the BNC.
Exactly.
That's good. That's smart.
If you need to hook somebody else's, you can daisy chain your PL259s at that point and make two pieces come together for field day. I had to run 100 feet for field day one time, and we put two together because I had all the connectors right there.
Mm-hmm. All right.
It was nice.
So okay, you guys get what we're throwing down. And Paul, good to see you. Mm-hmm. I just realized it was you. I saw your avatar. I'm like, I know that guy. So right on. Thanks for joining us out here. Haven't seen you in a little while. Okay, so let's take some questions now. So is there anybody? Now it's the newcomers question time. Anybody right on the YouTube? You've been waiting. Just type question or @Ham Radio Crash Course and we'll get to it. But is there anybody on the Discord tonight who's never been in before? This is your first time. We'd love it if you'd say hi and introduce yourself. That's a big thing. We'd love to welcome people who are new. And if you have a question, you get top billing, top priority. All goes to you right now. So who's here for the first time and like to say hi or ask a question? Come now.
Can I go first?
John, go for it. You were not new, though. Weren't you here last week or the week before?
I've never talked on this.
Oh, were you on the chat? No, I clicked. You were in the YouTube chat, right? Last week.
Yeah.
Okay. You had the funny. I kept on clicking your chats because they were funny. During Ham, it was during Ham Nation. It was during Ham Nation. Okay, well, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. Go ahead, man. You got the floor.
I just wanted to say hi. My question was, can I go first?
Yes, you can go first.
So, I'm done.
Oh, you did it.
I just wanted to say hi, and that was my question.
You broke the ice and you asked the first question, so nicely done, sir. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, homie.
Right on. Who's next? Who's here for the first time that would like to say hi or ask a question on the Discord chat? Nope.
Hi, Josh. Name here's Matthew.
Hey, Matthew, go for it.
Well, I'm new here, and it's nice to meet all of you.
Nice to meet you.
I was wondering about some coaxial cable, LMR 400, for a home base. Have you ever used LMR 400?
It is almost exclusively what's in my shack. There are plenty of people with coax opinions. Let me ask you first so we get an idea how far of a runner we're talking about, and then what's roughly the budget if you're looking for getting a good piece of coax.
Let me ask you first. Okay.
Let me help you out.
Is,
Also, hold on. Mute the YouTube chat. Mute the YouTube video right now. If you're watching me on YouTube, just mute it. You can keep it playing, but mute it. Because you're hearing a delay on Discord. Discord's faster than the YouTube. I can hear myself through your microphone. I have an annoying voice. My God, how do you guys watch me and listen to me? Jeez.
Okay, thank you, Josh. Yeah, I'm looking to only go 30 foot.
Oh, okay.
And I think I was gonna do a BNC connection.
Is this for VHF, UHF, or HF?
Well, I was planning to use it for an all mode VHF, UHF, and HF here eventually, but currently it's VHF and UHF.
Okay, I'm glad I asked. So LMR 400 is kind of where you want to be if you're going to do VHF, UHF. You can get away with a less thick-ish cable or less shielded cable on HF. Shield is probably the wrong word. I know Steve's here. I got to be really careful with my terminologies. But I'll say LMR 400 from ABR Industries is fantastic. 30 feet is not that expensive. Get the one that has the inline ferrites. That would be my recommendation. But I will now open it up to the panel on our Discord. Who would like to add their thoughts on coax? Where's Mike?
You didn't say budget.
Oh yeah, budget. What's your
I had
budget?
to pee.
What's your budget?
Any really, I can afford coax, so it won't be an issue to recommend whatever.
Okay, Mike, how much of that did you hear?
Oh, I heard all of it.
Oh, that's right. You pee with us in your ears. You just have your mic muted. Okay, good. So what say you, Mike?
Well, LMR 400 is a fantastic cable.
Yeah.
The only concern I would have, or not concern, just advice, it's a really stiff cable because of the solid conductor or the solid center conductor, which is a good thing. So just be careful bringing it into the shack and connecting it to the radio, and don't bend it too much. I mean, you can bend it
hard 90 degree.
Yeah, just be easy with it. You could look at, for what you're doing, a little bit more easier, manageable cable. If we're strictly talking LMR, would be the LMR 400 UF, which is the Ultraflex.
Yep.
The only difference would be that it has a stranded center core versus a solid center core, so a little bit more flexible. But the ABR 400 is fantastic. The ABR 400 UF, specifically the UF meaning Ultraflex, so it's stranded center. And then, of course, Messi and Poloni, which would be like the Ultraflex 10, the Hyperflex 10, Airborne 10, any of the 10 millimeter Messi and Poloni cables. And I think generally they're all going to be of a similar price range.
Mm-hmm.
So
I should mention all my LMR 400 is UF. So yeah, FYI. But anyway, sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
That's about all I got.
Okay. Anybody thoughts on coax? Want to get in there? Oh, I do have a box.
Yeah, if it's a 30-foot run, that's not a very long run. LMR 400 is a great cable if you need low loss cable, but if all things being equal, plain Jane RG8 or any of the RG8 types is perfectly fine for 30 feet.
Even on UHF?
I'm sorry?
Even on UHF, you don't get appreciable loss?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Even for that short a length, you're not. I wouldn't go much longer, but I mean, if you're just talking 20 or 30 feet, it's perfectly fine. But if you're really looking to eke out performance at UHF and above, clearly a lower loss cable is where you want to be. But
well, you can make up that too, depending on the gain of your antenna on 70 centimeters. So yeah, I mean, Steve is obviously right. I mean, I used RG 316 like 25-foot lengths with like my 818 and a Faraday or something, like.
Sorry for
it's
interrupting.
lossy, but it's like
RG 316 is pretty lossy at 450 and above.
So for sure. But a 25-foot length with an antenna.
Yeah, exactly. That's not a lot.
One second. Let me interrupt for 1 second. I got to go grab a box that literally has coax that I don't know that you guys have all seen yet. I'm going to go grab it. You guys keep talking about that. I will be back in like a minute. So go ahead. Keep talking.
I've got a comment to add to this. If you're doing single sideband UHF, VHF, not your normal FM technician stuff, you'll want to go to the LMR 600 for the less loss. But that's for serious users
makes
only.
Absolutely no difference. Your mode of operation is going to make absolutely no difference.
I'm just talking about if you get serious about it and you want less loss.
Well, that's going to be based on frequency. So loss is a function of the dielectric loss and frequency. So the mode of operation, whether you're operating CW or single sideband or whatever digital mode you want, that's the loss of the cable is the loss of the cable.
Shout out to LMR 600 though. That cable is
for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, it is. It is.
Well, I was thinking more in terms of Earth, Moon, Earth, and the serious modes of operation that losses, but 600 is king.
Or LGF 450.
Yeah.
I was thinking of recommending hardline. Hell with it.
I'm just going to say, if you really want to go all out, Heliax is the way to go.
I use RG8X from Amazon, and it works fine. Save your money.
Yeah.
The loss you see at 30 foot, I mean, 400, I run 400 to my shack, but at 30 foot, you're not really going to see the loss.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend playing around with a calculator just because all the numbers are spec'd for 100 feet. And that's all true. But then you say, hey, I got 30 feet of it, and suddenly it doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't even really matter that much at 100 feet, too. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, I just installed a bunch of half-inch UPIN hardline for all 3 or 4 different repeaters. And it's actually easier to work with than you would think. And the losses are nothing.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I got
look at that.
DX Engineering.
DX Engineering is a very high quality coax, by the way. I will say one thing about I think I heard Mike mention LMR 400 UF Ultraflex. I will say something about Ultraflex. Be very careful with the stranded version of LMR 400. The cross-section stability is very important. A lot of those connectors, especially PL259s, will not fit on some of the cheaper made less tolerance controlled cables. Case in point, I don't want to mention there's a supplier 1 state over from me that is a fairly prolific advertiser. Their version of Ultraflex or LMR 400 stranded or flexible will not fit a standard LMR 400 PL259 or a connector designed for that cross section. It's very, very tight. And it drove me batty because we ended up doing a job one site. We ended up using some of that, and on site we discovered that none of our connectorization fit at all. Times worked perfect, but again, Times is the gold standard. It's very expensive. But there are other manufacturers. DX Engineering is one of them. Their Ultraflex fits perfectly every time. Same thing with the house brand from Davis RF, which I believe is made in the United States as well. But if you're going to buy an Ultraflex, for LMR 400, yeah, the DX Engineering is one that fits every time. They're dimensionally correct. It's to the spec.
That's good to know. So this is the DX Engineering RG8XXV. This is what they're calling it, their like POTA coax, and it's pretty flexible stuff. It looks good. I will say I do. So in the pantheon of coax connectors, I think we all probably, at least I think we all agree that Messi and Poloni connectors are probably like the craziest connectors you can get on coax. But I really like the DX Engineering connectors. I'd put that in spot 2, and then ABRs under that. That would be my pantheon of coax connection.
Yeah, and don't even think about my connectors.
I won't. I won't even think about them.
It's bad.
I won't even think about them.
Is crimping the way to go?
If you buy the right crimps, if you buy the right crimps and a good quality crimp tool, a crimped connector is a gas tight connector. With that said, both crimp and clamp style can easily be destroyed in the field. So, but for ease of use and I think for ease of assembly, a crimp style connector is a hard one to beat. Although there are some of us that still, with the correct tools, are hardcore and will actually end up soldering. But be careful with some of the braids, especially the aluminized braids, will not solder. So you can't use a standard solder on PL259 or a standard solder on connector.
Well, let's not forget compression fitting now. That's
exactly.
I was ride or die crimp until I learned about the compression fitting.
Absolutely. And again, a gas tight connection if it's done correctly.
Yes.
That's good.
Which 100% I will not do correctly with my crimps.
We like that.
I would recommend picking up a VNA as well, because it allows you to understand a little bit better what you're actually dealing with rather than sort of theoretically what your coax is. If you actually get a piece and you go, oh, wait a minute, something's off, you can double check the coax.
Yeah.
Looking at the DX Engineering and the ABR, it looks like they use crimp connectors. And so for me, that seems like kind of like the way to go because it's easier to achieve that standard. And I've only used the solder-on connector, so I think I might actually invest in a crimping kit to see make some customized cables to actually get the exact length of cable that I need. And yes, sure, I could like order those custom, but doing it yourself, kind of, I don't know. It's got a certain. Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
Sorry,
Josh.
Jim's good. You're good. We gotta come all the way back up to the surface. We went deep. Cody and Argo pointed out this poor guy was asking if LMR 400 was okay for 30 feet, and we are really in the weeds now. Yes, sir. LMR 400, go. You probably want UF Ultraflex. Did we help you, or did we blow your mind up? Was this too much? Sorry. KU2CCK, you still there?
No, you guys are good.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. No, you guys are great. Thank you for all the opinions.
Well, cheers to you, buddy. Yeah, LMR 400 is good. You'll be on your way in no time. Right on. All right. Anybody else out here for the first time that would like to say hi or ask a question? Come now.
I'd like to say something.
James, you are making it. You're a little quiet. See if you can get a little closer on the mic there. I'll bump. Oh, no, I got you bumped all the way, so you got to get closer.
Is this any better?
Better. Yep.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks because I used your tech course to help me get the tech test. And then last weekend I passed my general.
Wow. That's awesome. Congratulations. Well, what's the first radio you're going to buy, or the next radio you're going to buy?
I'm thinking of the ICOM 7300 just because
okay.
I'm taking a course and they go through the whole thing of explaining it. It's the ham radio prep course.
Ah, okay. Okay, right on. Cool. Do watch a lot of YouTube videos. Check out some of the other ones. Do you have a local ham radio store in your area at all?
I actually live in Florida, so yeah, there's a couple.
Yeah, you might want to go check out the radios on the floor and go hands-on with them before you fully decide which way you're going to go.
Yeah, my problem is that I'm not sure, but they say that the 730 to 7300 is decent for most things. You can actually carry it around and do photos
sure.
if you want.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I'm not taking anything away from the 7300. It's a good radio, but it is getting a little older. Technology has changed a little bit. So, geez, excuse me. I'm just saying you're gonna go down to the store anyway when you end up buying one of these things. So explore, try them all out. I always like to recommend that everybody tries out a lot of the radios when they can, and then when they settle on a radio that they want to buy, they'll be less inclined to start seeing the grass is greener on the other side after they start looking at other radios that were available at the same time, but they never looked at them. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, now I think I'm going to sell this one and I'm going to buy this other thing. And it's just this continuous game of flipping radios until they find the one that they really like versus just going in the store, take as much time as you need and do what you got to do.
Yeah, that's good advice because, right now I'm just trying to figure out what I'm doing because I've only been a ham for 3 weeks.
Yeah, take your time with it. Explore all the radios. Go down to that HRO and go nuts.
Do you mind if I butt in real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Like the 7300 is an awesome radio. I've gotten a chance to operate that. I've also got a chance to operate the 710 from Yaesu. I would suggest taking a look at that one as well. They're both around the same price point as well. They're both really good radios.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Don't buy the first one that you put your hands on. That's my recommendation. Put your hands on a lot of them.
Yep.
FTDX10.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of them.
So just consider that when you're out there looking at it. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, my price point is around $1,000, and it's gonna take me a couple of months to bring that up.
Yeah, so you got two in that space, the 710 Field and the 7300 when it's on sale, or it's generally been around $1,000. You should be able to find them both for that price.
And that's $1,000. Does that include your accessories or
No, that's just
the radio?
Okay.
Just good answer.
Yes.
And because I know I'm going to be spending another $200 to $300 to get at least one good antenna.
Good answer.
Probably about half that amount for for wire and leads and
power supply.
Yep.
And maybe a tuner. Both of them come with tuners, so I don't need that.
They do, except if you get with an antenna that it's like a non-resident antenna, and that would require an external tuner. But that's probably further down the road for you.
Well, yeah. Right now I'm trying to just get into this as easy as possible.
I like it. Get into it. We're only going to complicate things if we keep talking about it.
No, the two radios you said are the two I was thinking of. The only other one I was thinking of is the Yaesu 891.
Yeah,
no,
891.
No.
So
you're right.
Okay, let's then. I will ask a clarifying question. Are you planning on doing like field portable only, or is this going to be like a base station radio for you, or what are you planning on doing?
Well, I'm retired, and I'm going to spend at least half the year in a camper.
Ah, okay.
So I would like something not too big. That's why I was thinking of, because of the two, the 7300 is a little smaller and lighter than the other one, the Yaesu.
Not
actually,
really.
It's not.
No, not. If you saw them in person, they're almost the same size. But so I'll just go ahead and say, in your case, like in an RV, I wouldn't go with the 891. I would go with the Yaesu 710 or the 7300 because they're not big, and since you have a comfortable place to operate from, I'd rather have more of a base station radio than a full portable radio. You don't need that. You have operating space. You can go with that.
And you probably won't love the menus on this 891.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah, you will appreciate the menus on the 710 and the 7300 a lot better. But it again, like I said, don't go to the first one that you play with unless you really enjoy the interface.
That 891 is pretty easy to throw around, though. Just saying.
It is, but he doesn't. I don't think he
saying.
needs to throw. I don't think he needs to throw around. I think he just is looking for a camper radio.
Well,
And actually, Josh, I think
let
the
him talk.
710 is a little smaller than
Let him talk.
7300.
Let him talk. Go ahead.
I've been looking at videos, and that's why I went with the 7300 or the Yaesu. I can't remember the name of that one, the bigger one. But I was looking at them because they're full. They're full boxes, and not something I can mount in a car because I don't need to. And there'll be a full shack if I ever do have a shack. Be good for a shack radio.
Yeah, everything you're saying is correct. Yeah, I agree. Right on.
Because I got advice to take a G90, but I'm saying that's just not what I want. I want something more that's going to be a shack radio eventually.
The best advice I could give you, and I think we all would agree, watch as many just reviews on each one of those radios on YouTube as you can, and go with what you think suits your needs the best, because they're both going to do exactly what you want. It's just how do they do it in terms of just menus and functionality and
Yeah. There you go. Okay, I hope that helps. Appreciate you joining us.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Again, thank you for the tech course. It did help.
Good. I'm glad it helped, and I'm glad you've joined us here on the air, and we'll be radioactive here shortly, so appreciate that. All right. Who's next? Anybody here for the first time like to say hi or ask a question? Go ahead. Oh, we got through all of them. Okay, then we're going to
Josh, if there's nobody with questions, I'd like to jump in if I may.
Please, sir.
To help a friend of ours.
Mm-hmm.
His name's George.
Okay.
He owns PackTenna. And I just want to let everyone know that PackTenna antennas are back in stock right now.
You don't say.
Yes. So if you go to PackTenna.com,
I'm still waiting.
If you're looking for an NFET half wave, you got to buy the 2010 NFET half wave and then the 40 meter add-on wire. So that's my public service address.
All right, let's walk. Oh, hey, look, whose picture's on the main page here, everybody? It's me, even before Carlos. I'm ahead of the parachute guy. Wow, that's pretty awesome.
And that's a bunch of crap. My face should be plastered over there. No, I'm kidding. I was reading.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I was editing a couple of videos this morning before George, because I subscribe to the groups.io where George from PackTenna lets people know when the antennas are going to be available. People were getting pissed because they're like, I've been hitting refresh all day and it's not there. And it's like, dude, George said he will post when they are available.
So what are we doing? 40 meter add-on too?
Bottom left, the 2010.
Yeah.
And then you add the 40 meter add-on wire for another $25. Ooh. And then you have the PackTenna, that one with the bow tie that doesn't have a picture. Add that. Yep.
I have that.
That one right there.
I have both of them. That's exactly the kit that I bring out. The 20 with the 40 add-on. Beautiful.
Yep. And that is the PackTenna NFET half wire NFET half wave, that I use in darn near most of my videos. And they're always out of stock and everyone cries. Well, now they're in stock. So everyone go buy a PackTenna right
now. Don't cry. I will drop the link.
And get the inline choke while you're there.
Oh yeah, get the choke.
You might as well.
Yeah, get the choke. Not cheap, but it's worth it. In most portable situations, it's worth it. Grayman, do you have your DMs? Is your Discord working?
I'm not sure why.
Do you have a DM from me?
Damn, Josh, we were just sleeping in the same hotel room nary a week ago, and now you're already sliding into Tim's DMs.
There's a reason. Do you have it? Do you have it, Tim?
Yeah.
Tim worked me on HF today, so.
That's right, Mike. I did.
Is that weird?
Well, Tim, do you get what I'm saying? Do you understand the message?
Yes, sir.
Can you go say something? Do you see my message where I'm saying?
I do. I see it.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure you got end-to-end connection here. I'm checking the comms path. All right.
Hey, Josh. I did think of something else that I would not use on an activation.
I love to hear it. What will you not bring to the field ever again?
It's one of those buddy stick. Somebody had taken 2 ham sticks and made a dipole out of it.
Buddy pole.
But apparently, buddy pole. There we go. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And it did not work. Might have been something wrong with it as well, but we're sitting there and we just could not get it to tune. Nothing.
The dummy pole.
I have spent a lot of time trying to explain to people how to tune those things up. And I remember Dawn and I spent a lot of time talking about that. Dawn is with the vertical. I don't know if you've played with a dipole or not. I have not had nearly as much problems as half of the people that I've talked to with that antenna system. I don't know why. Were you using an analyzer?
I was using a 269 MFGJ 269 analyzer, yes, and we played with that thing for 30 minutes and then decided, forget it, we're just going to go with an end-fed.
So that MFJ doesn't have the sweep, right? It's just the one that shows you with whatever frequency you're on what the SWR is.
Yeah, you got the little dial and you watch the SWR move in the panel, and then.
So I think. Hold on one second, Don. I'll let you go after this. So I think with the sweep, that's why I'm able to bring the antennas in. Is because I just open up the aperture until I see the dip, and then I slide it into place, and then that's when I start futzing with the smaller movements.
So VNA would be a whole lot better choice.
100%. Or an antenna analyzer that has the full sweep. The problem is you're not seeing much space. You're seeing one frequency. You're getting a reading of RX and VSWR on one frequency. But what you really want is you want to see that salad bowl of where the antenna is at based off of its physical tuning, particularly with the buddy pole.
I didn't have my VNA at the time. Now it's my of choice. I don't even mess with my MFJ antenna analyzers anymore. Shame on me.
Okay, sorry, Don. Go ahead.
Well, no, I just really wanted him to say, you were talking about the buddy pole as opposed to the buddy pole, or were you talking about the vertical?
The buddy stick.
It was set up like a dipole with 2 buddy sticks.
Yeah, buddy pole.
Yeah, okay, that's a buddy pole. That's the dipole type thing.
Mm-hmm.
If I can ask, which mast were you using? How high off the ground? Because the original dipoles were, I think, the original stands that they used to have from the very first or second generation of those. If I'm not mistaken, were only about 8 or 10 feet tall, and it was a super twitchy antenna to tune that close to the ground.
That sounds about right, because it was a used setup that somebody had offloaded for a great deal, and it was like, I know why it was a good deal.
Yeah. The new ones are on those Mastwork mast, which, I mean, it's not the same one that we get with the hex beam, but they're very similar, and they are in the same size. So you can get them for 7 meters, 10 meters, and then they actually on that they have one that goes even higher.
I mean, I need to operate. Were you down by 40, 80 meters, or were you trying to operate up by 10 meters or so?
We were on 40 meters is what we were trying to do.
That's harder.
And I can tell you from experience and having owned one, it's just that's years ago. We used to call it a dummy pole, and it was. Yeah, one, it's twitchy. 2, 40 meter, a critically loaded 40 meter dipole that's only 8 feet off the ground is, it's twitchy and it doesn't work very well. So you'd be better off with running it vertical or in the L orientation. We would work pretty good as well. But your end-fed idea was probably significantly better than what you had.
Oh yeah, a whole lot better.
I have a question or a point.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I have the same. I'm going to leave it at home feeling for the buddy pole, or the buddy stick. Sorry, and I got it. I was I think it was like Wisconsin Po today, and I had like 3 hours of kid time away from the wife. Got out there, got sped up, and I swear to God, I spent more time back and forth, walking, stepping back. I had a rig expert with me, or my rig stick, but I spent more time fiddling around with it to get onto 20 meters.
Yeah.
And I was surrounded by trees, and next time I'm just going to bring a wire and throw it in a tree.
There you go.
Yeah, you're going to have to futz with it. Those are futzy antennas. I can't, knowing I can get a Stick Pro up in the air quickly, but the Buddy Pole seems like you're just doubling your problems because you've only got one reading. The one reading is both legs, right? And they've got to be tuned identically, otherwise it's going to be a big problem. And so,
well, mine was a Stick Pro, and it was just the same thing as
Really?
I'm trying to hop around the band. I finally got on 20, realized, everyone's over on 10. Let me just throw everything away and start over again.
Okay, well, that's true. Yeah, you will play that game.
And I really think when I was doing mine, because I was doing it in the front of the house, I mean, quite a ways in front of the house, that I was getting hit with some kind of metal. Because, I mean, when we went out to the park and Shane was there, I mean, it didn't take us very long at all to get it set up. But I honestly, that is the last time I ever used that antenna. Like everybody, my POTA stuff is I drive up in the car, I turn the 891 on, and I start running the ATOS, and I don't even get out of the car 90% of the time. So, but hey, if you're about quick and you want to set up quick and you want to get gone quick, there isn't anything any quicker.
Yeah. So I gotta go back. We got a comment out here from LG. What is the LG acronym? Lilyhammer something? LilyGo? The LG appliance company. Did you know that that's an acronym?
That is
Life's good.
Life's good.
No, it's not.
Life's good.
No, it's not.
No, that's a marketing slogan.
That's
it is actually the
Look it up.
combination of the Lucky brand and the Gold brand. They were two.
Lucky Gold Hammer. I think it's Lucky Gold. Lucky Gold Star. That's it. Tim got it.
That's Lucky Gold Star. I was trying to think of Lucky Gold Star.
Consumer electronic brands that merged in Korea.
So we got to go back, and Mike's going to jump in on this one. Somebody said, outrageous, $25 for a piece of add-on wire? I think we can all agree that's outrageous for a piece of wire. The 40-meter add-on kit, Mike, do you want to add your thoughts on the 40-meter add-on kit to the I can do it if you're not there.
I was peeing again.
Oh, what is... You might
dude, so I bought...
He's getting old.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, I'm getting old, but I'm drinking St. Arnold.
He's got his Crocs on right now.
IPA.
I just know it.
I'm drinking St. Arnold Art Car IPA, and it's like 7 ABV. It's a big beer.
It's going right through.
Anyway,
brother. That's the best.
So $25 for an add-on wire. So to get that to DIY, you're going to first need to buy the let's say the 35 feet of wire from amateurradiosupplies.com. 26 gauge poly stealth wire.
Okay.
That's going to be a few dollars.
Yeah, that's not the
like
not the
$5.
expensive. Yeah.
Like $5 plus shipping. Okay. Then you're going to need to buy an S-beaner, which is another...
Oh, you don't have the PCB? It comes with PCB.
PCB? What are you talking about?
It comes with the winder.
No, he's talking about the add-on wire.
Yeah, the add-on wire comes with the winder.
Does it? I don't know.
Yeah,
well,
it
it's
comes
because they used to sell it as just a whole thing.
Mine came with a winder. That was the big thing, is that he has a PCB cut winder that it is strung onto with the two S-beaner clips, and then the banana plug connectors pre-soldered.
I will justify that without the winder.
Okay, please do.
So you got to buy the wire. You got to buy the S-beaner, which is like $8 for like 10 on Amazon. We all have affiliate links for them in our Amazon stores. Then you need to buy the ferrules to crimp the loop in the wire, which those are, if you buy the right one, I just bought 1,000 for $12. If you go to PackTenna.com and just go to the FAQ section, he tells you all the things that you need.
Yeah.
And then you need the tools to actually crimp the ferrule. So that's another let's say $25 Amazon ferrule crimper.
Oh, you're buying
ferrule
tools
crimper
now.
tool.
We're going to Harbor Freight.
To DIY this. These are the things you need. It's a $25 add-on wire.
Yes.
Yes, you can build it by yourself for
you should,
pennies
and you
on the
should,
dollar.
and you can, and you should. You can, and you should.
I did. That is why the linked end-fed half-wave exists.
You are the reason.
Because
Mike.
I did it first, because George only sold a 20-meter end-fed half-wave. And I stole his idea for his linked end-fed half-wave, and I made the linked end-fed or the linked dipole. And
yes,
I did. I swear to God.
You don't have to. You can swear to me. I saw it.
I swear to Joe. Joe Pesci. George Carlin fans will get that. So, you got to have the tools and all the stuff. I do have receipts because I write them all off.
Well, you also have the video.
$25 for the wire, or just twist another 33 feet of wire to it and stop crying. But
I do have to say, Coax and Choke is the new Netflix and chill. I agree completely. Coax and Choke is the new Netflix and chill. That's fantastic.
But Mike, didn't you go and do more bands than just the 3?
Oh yeah,
the bad LG. So Lucky Gold Strike, Gold Farmer,
yours is
whatever.
Still better.
Spoiler alert: there's a new dually antenna in town.
Ooh, it's a quadly antenna.
No, it's still a dually.
I still don't get. I like the idea. I just don't understand why I would ever need it. I need help. That's the part I don't get. Maybe you can justify that too. Yes,
I will.
Okay,
Josh.
Here we go.
So an end-fed halfway. Say you want to get on 40 meters. You need 66 feet of wire.
I do occasionally.
You do.
Like to get to that
66 feet of wire
with
an end-fed half wave, roughly, maybe 65, right? Mm-hmm. With an end-fed with a 9-to-1 random wire, you could do that with 29 feet of radiating element and an antenna tuner.
Okay.
So the benefit is you now have exponentially less wire. You could run that as a vertical off of the POTA 33 and be on 40 meters with a 9-to-1 and a tuner.
Okay.
And you'd still make contacts. So it's all about how much space do we have? How are we deploying our antenna? What antenna are we using? What bands do we want to use? The standard ham radio answer, it depends.
There's just
I'll go one further, Josh.
Okay. Okay.
If you just put on 5 more foot of wire on your 65-foot infed,
there you go.
On the 9-to-1, you could do all the bands
with a tuner. With a tuner,
exactly.
With a tuner, yeah.
But
there's small tuners like those the Pearl 2.
Yeah.
The 971 or.
Okay, hear me out. I can get more wire in my pack to carry than I can get more tuner in my pack to carry, generally.
You need a different pack.
No, I mean weight-wise.
Say you're going into the woods.
Okay, so let's say.
Because I do this. Say you're going into the woods. Like deep, thick forest.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's impossible, but it is incredibly difficult to put up 66 feet of wire. So if you can run something shorter and vertically, and all you have to do is add a tuner to your pack to make it happen.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the dually does that.
I can see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's you got to think about space.
Okay.
And where am I going and how can I set up this antenna and can I set up this antenna?
Ooh, I got one more for you. What if you break your wire?
Okay.
Pine sill. You get a pine
I'm
sill soldering iron and keep it with you always because it heats off of 12-volt USB-C PD.
Yeah, but it's better on 12-volt. Way better.
Oh, poppycock.
Poppycock. Poppycock. Oh, for a wire you'd be fine, but
USB-C PD. My pine sill is at 12 volts.
It doesn't get as hot if you're giving it a straight battery. Trust me, after doing it to solder
700 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm soldering 26 gauge wire.
Solder a coax connector. I had to switch off a PD and go straight to 12 volt directly into it to be able to do it.
Nobody's soldering a coax connector. We all use crimp or compression.
Nope. Not all of us.
What was your meme today?
Not this guy.
You need to choose better life choices or something.
Make better life choices.
See how that is? There you go.
That's what I had, man. I had to get it done. We were soldering, bud, and I had my pine sill on me with my 3D printed case, and I had my little solder station. I had my BioEnno battery. I went click, and I was rocking.
Fortunately, I have both connectors in my battery box.
Yeah,
for my pine sill to do PD or 12 volts.
Try it both ways, and then let me know. Maybe they've improved. Mine's like 2 years old now.
Well, so I just did a video on the pine sill. I soldered up to, I think it was 10 gauge wire.
Oh, that's good.
I feel I did need to go to 12 volts for that, or 20 volts or something. No, it was 12.
Yeah,
it wasn't off the USB-C to get it hotter. But for fixing a wire antenna, USB-C 100% of the time will work. If you're doing old school, like soldering the shield of a coax,
oh yeah, buddy,
you need a Weller and a 5,000 watt inverter.
I need the gun. I need the OG gun where I turn it sideways to solder my coax.
Not so much happening out in the field there, buddy.
No, I was just soldering the pin. It was or I guess it was the shield. You solder the shield generally on LMR 400.
What's the aversion to bringing a single band antenna for the bands that you want to operate? That's the most efficient way to do it, and that way you don't need the tuner. So you could build coaxial. You could actually build a coaxial dipole and just be done with it. Build one for each, one for the few bands that you want to use. It's a little extra work to throw it over the ledge or up on the tree. But if you're in the woods, you're in the woods.
That's exactly it, though. You got to get those legs up. So you have 3 points
of
contact for the dipole.
Up. You got to get
because you got to get the center up, and then you have to tie down both.
A coaxial dipole. A coaxial dipole. I don't know if you ever built a coaxial dipole. We used to build them back in it. So what you would do is you would strip the center conductor, strip the shield off of a quarter wave, and then you'd put the choke about a quarter wave down from that, and you can kind of tune them so that they'll give you something less than 3 to 1 on the band that you want. And it's basically a choked coaxial inline dipole. And
why would anybody do that out in the field unless they have to? I mean, yes, it's a good skill to have.
Oh, no, it's a fantastic antenna. It works great. You only have to hoist it up into the tree, and it's a vertical dipole.
Yep.
Works a treat.
You're saying use the coax as the dipole, the center conductor is the one, and the shield is the other.
Yeah, if you look at any of the antenna books, I'm even going back.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's the coaxial dipoles were pretty popular.
Yeah, in a pinch, sure. If that's all I got, coax, absolutely. Dude, I'll make an antenna. I made an antenna out of a shopping cart. Yes.
With a tuner.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. Absolutely, you can.
Now,
Kevin, with the RLW, he did a video when I first started getting into AM radio about that coax dipole. Yeah, he stripped the shield off, and then the center conductor was the other element. Yeah.
You just place the choke. You can put sleeve chokes there. Figure out where the quarter wave, or if you want to make a half wave. Put the choke down at that end, connectorize the back end, and since you're operating in the field, it's run your coax on the ground, and you'd be surprised that'll work a treat.
Right on. Yep, I agree. Okay, let's go back to the drawing board here. Anybody here for the first time that'd like to ask questions or say hi? Come now. First timers. All right. Did we get through all of our first timers? I think we did. So YouTube, you can still ask your questions. Obviously, Discord, anybody, we can open it up to anyone now, anyone, anywhere. But has anybody got another thing they will never bring into the field? They regret bringing it out. They'll never take it back again. Anybody think of a new one?
I do like the suggestion of your girlfriend or wife.
The last time I took Leia, well, quote unquote, in the field, we went to a party on the beach, and I just dragged all my radio crap with me, set it up, and she ended up activating. She was actually very excited to do so, and so I was like, okay, activate, away, let's go. It was great. But, yeah, generally, my kids make doing anything ham radio kind of difficult because they're not, like, really engaged in the ham portion of it. They're like, where do I go play? Where do I go do this? Where do I go do whatever? And Dad, this is boring. I don't want to listen anymore. Blah, 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 blah. It's always something like, give me this, give me that, give me blah blah blah. Where's my iPad? And I'm like, there's no iPad in the forest. We're not doing that. That can be a pain. I could see that. That could be a pain in the butt. Put the kids on Overwatch. Yeah, they like Fortnite.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Steve from Florida, K4BJV.
What up?
Maybe a quick question, maybe long involved, but so I'm running a G90, and I'm using the Alpha antenna, 17-foot telescoping antenna. Ran it several times. I figured out, had the length set on 20 and 6. SWR was flat. Okay. And then all of a sudden, one day I run it and I'm having SWR and I can't tune it. The only thing I changed was my connection to my radials. Could running 4 radials into a single wire that's grounded to the base, could that make a change in the SWR?
Well, let me ask you did you operate from the same location every time, or were you at different locations?
Different locations, but I had operated at that location with flat SWR.
Okay. So in that case, yeah, you probably need to go around and check all the connections. How are you connecting the quote unquote shield or the ground side of it to the radial path? Like what's your setup there for the mounting the whip?
So the whip threads into just a threaded mount on a mirror,
like a CB mount.
CB, yeah. With a spike.
So then, okay, so the mount is on a spike.
That's correct.
Does it have a little plate that it's off of? Because usually the mount is a coax connection, right?
Yeah, it's like the CB mirror mount that I've bolted a spike to.
Oh, you bolted a spike to. Okay, got it. So where do the radials come off of that?
So the radials initially they're still both times were bolted to the plate, to the actual, the aluminum mount.
Yeah.
Right. The first time I had the 4 radials twisted and on a ring connector to the bolt. I changed that just to make it a little bit more portable, and put a single wire coming off of the plate and plug the 4 radials in with like a bullet connector.
Yeah, so this might be a good opportunity to break out the old multimeter and make sure you don't have continuity between your whip and any of the other equipment. It needs to be fully isolated. So if you touch a probe to the whip and you touch any of the stuff that touches the spike and you have continuity, then yeah, you've shorted somewhere. That could be one thing. It's probably less likely, but that could be one thing. The fact that it worked before and now it doesn't work leads me to believe that you've got some problem with your radial bundle or the wire that's feeding it, but you might want to look at that. That's probably the first place I would go. The connection point.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay,
yeah,
I'll try that. One more real quick question. Maybe this one will get longer.
Okay. Sounds like you're trying to ask a long question. It sounds like you're trying to cause it. No, it's good. Go ahead.
Well, I just know how these things get into deep dives, right? So I'm thinking about, the G90, I'm very happy with it. Okay. It doesn't, I just don't have 6 meters on it. Is there a multitasker 6 meter, maybe UHF, VHF, that is a multi-mode, multi-mode, thinking about maybe doing some satellite with that. So is there a radio that is capable of doing all that? That's a
yes.
reasonable radio.
Yeah, there are radios that might be able to do that, but so usually satellites and 6 meters don't go together. 6 meters is not a satellite frequency. Usually it's VHF, UHF. 6 meters is it will pass through the atmosphere, but you're going to get a lot of absorption on that frequency. So is this for satellite? You want a satellite rig specifically?
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe. So what is the what are the other satellite frequencies other than the 70 centimeter to 2 meter up and down? There's another.
It's all higher up. So
it's all
2 meters is the lowest frequency we generally use, and then they just start getting higher up from that point. The most common amateur radio satellites are going to be 2 meters and 70 centimeters crossband. So you're going to have a 2 meter up, 70 centimeter down, vice versa. And to do that effectively, and in the, to be the best operator and to not create interference, you want a full duplex radio to be able to do that. So then you have to ask yourself, okay, you can do FM satellites without any problem with some of the mobile radios that exist, like an ICOM 2730 will do full duplex for 2 meters and 70 centimeters. Great. If you want to step it up and eventually get to the linear satellites, then you will need a radio that will do single sideband. That's where they're at. Single sideband, CW, etc. So you would need something like the 9700 is probably one of the better base station type radios for doing satellites. We got Digital Rancher in the house too, I think. Is he here? Am I talking trash, or am I close? Or he was here, now he's gone. Shoot, I thought he was here. Dang, he's not. Yeah, so full duplex is going to be king.
Okay, well, I initially purchased the Kenwood V71A for that purpose.
Is it full duplex? Is it? If it is, that will work. That will work just fine.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
Great.
I just got on a deep dive elsewhere. Actually, got my G90 and got more into HF, and I never went back to it. But now I'm thinking about maybe I'd like to try some satellites now.
I hear you. I hear you 100%. So, yeah. So since you already have some gear, you should probably explore that space first before buying a bunch of other stuff, and then get some experience. The FM satellites are fun. They're just sometimes very there's a lot of activity on there, challenged in some point. So you probably need to get yourself a decent antenna to be able to play in that space, like an elk or an arrow. If you're really serious about it, then you might start looking at some of those Azel rotor type stuff to be able to do that. That's a whole nother ball of wax.
Yeah, I actually did buy a dual band Yagi for that.
Oh, okay. Oh, then you got everything. Get it out there, bud. You're all set. Get out there.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, cool. Thanks.
All right, very
Hey,
good.
Josh, I had a question.
Hey, what's up, Corpse? What's going on, man?
I actually had two. One quick one and one.
No, only one. Sorry.
Well, the first quick one is the first. Well, all right. The question is, how's your wife liking your early birthday present?
She likes it. Actually, I think she's probably more adopted it than I have fully integrated it into anything. She likes more of a classic look. She
I
prefers
figured
that.
as much.
I'm the
All right.
high speed, low drag kind of looking guy, and
Yeah, I figured as much.
I let go
All
of
right.
my leather. I mean, I think you know Leia. You spend lots of time talking about her. Yeah.
All right. No, seriously, a question on the antenna side of things. So I have an NFET half wave that I bought from Coffee and Ham, or Ham and Coffee, whatever that's.
Yeah, Coffee and Ham Radio.
Yeah, Coffee and Ham Radio. I believe it's the which one was
Apollo?
it? The Apollo, right? And so I soldered everything together, got it all set up and ready to go. But now I saw the video that you put together talking about cutting and tuning that. Could you go a little bit more into how exactly that NFET is supposed to be tuned? Because I was trying to follow your video and I was not quite catching what you were putting down there.
Okay. So the first thing is, like, how do you think you're going to set it up most of the time? Will you use a mast? Are you going to just have a push-up telescoping, mast and put the end and then shove it into a tree? Have you thought about that yet?
There's a tree that I'm going to run the end of it up into. And then I unfortunately, I don't think I can get the full length of it in a straight line.
Yeah, that's okay.
I almost have to do it in an acute angled V.
Mm-hmm.
to some point, to some degree, just because of the amount of property I have to work with. I don't have that kind of space, so I have to like almost. I'm trying to get as much of a right angle as possible, but it will be more of an acute angle than obtuse from the end of it to the fed end of it. So I was just curious how to tune that.
Okay, so how you would do it in the field, if I was setting up a field antenna, in your case, you might want to consider adding like a pulley on that tree to be able to raise and lower a cord so that you can bring the piece down and hoist the piece back up, because you're going to have to do this a couple of times, right? So the directions in their instructions are good. And what you'll find is that the instructions for these antennas will generally have you cut the elements longer than they need to be, right? And then you will end up snipping pieces off until you get it brought into the lowest frequency band that you're going to operate on. So the coffee and ham radios, I think, is 40 meters. So that's right. I think so. 40 meters. I guess it depends. They may have a longer bit of wire.
Yeah, it was 40 meters.
Yeah. So you would. Do you have an analyzer? Do you have a nano VNA?
Not yet.
So this is something where, my point of view, you should probably have a nano VNA before you even embark down this road. My personal opinion. You can.
I agree 100% with that, Josh.
Yeah, you can do this using your SWR meter on your radio, but I think you're better off if you have that, again, that salad bowl, and then you're on the lowest frequency band you want to operate on, and you use the analyzer to figure out where the resonance spot is of that antenna. And what you'll quickly learn is, as I snip bits of it off, that salad bowl starts to slide up the frequency space. So if we started out and we were, well, I guess I should be over here. We started out and we're like past the 40 meter band on the low side of the frequency, and we start snipping and it starts to slide up, and oh, we're in CW. Oh, there's FT8. Oh, there's single sideband. That's from snipping the wire, right? And you're going to use the VNA to show that to you. And the physical representation in the form of that display is exactly what you need.
All right. So, because where I get confused is when you guys talk about going out to the field and you're operating on a band, do you make it sound as if like you have one antenna set up and you're tuning that antenna to depending on what band you decide to run on, whether it be 20 meters or 40 meters, and from what I understand, the end-fed half-wave does not do that. It's going to be one band for that antenna, correct? Or
kinda. So an end-fed half-wave works on the even harmonics. So you should be able to get 40, 15, 20, and 10 out of an end-fed half-wave. And it just because of the way that the frequencies lined up. If you looked at all the amateur HF radio frequencies, like just laid out, they'd be lined up on the even harmonics for those frequencies that they were operating on. So if you had a long wire on 40 meters, you'd also pick up 20 and 10, for instance, as an even harmonic.
All right. So to clarify, if I was to tune said antenna theoretically for some portion of the 40 meter band with the tiny VNA, and I set it up I tune the antenna on 40 meters on the single side band, you're saying that antenna should be resonant on 20 and 10 to some capacity.
Yeah, that's exactly why people use end-fed half-waves.
And 15.
And 15, yeah. So the point, though...
And some inductance.
Yeah, K6ARK can probably add more, and so can Steve. But I think, and then correct me if I'm wrong, guys, you generally want to tune 40 meters a little bit towards the low side of the band so that you pick up 20, 15, and 10. Is that right?
Yes.
So you got a couple options there.
So
you
go
can,
Adam, and then Steve, go ahead.
So you have a couple options there. There's end effect that throws off your multiple harmonics, so your 20, 15, and 10. And when you're resonant right in the right spot on 40, you tend to be a little high, a little above the band on 20, 15, and 10. And to fix that, you can add a small loading coil. I usually put it about 6 feet from the feed point, and I do about 10 turns on a 3/4 inch form to give just, a few microhenries of inductance. And that's enough to
set that antenna up so when you're resonant on 40, you're also in the right spot on the bands in 20, 15, and 10. So that strategically placed loading coil can really help. So my tuning process is basically to cut the wire for 40 and tune it for 40 by folding back the end of the wire rather than cutting it, because I'm going to need that extra wire when I add that loading coil. Then I'll add the loading coil about 6 feet from the feed point, again about 10 turns on a 3/4 to 1 inch form, and retune the antenna and make sure all those dips are in the right spot. And you can either add turns to bring the higher bands down a little bit lower and closer to 40 if they're still a little high, or you can remove turns if you find that when 40 is resonant, 20, 15, and 10 are too low.
That's a lot, but
in the practical though, the fact is your radio will not complain too much if you're not perfect.
So did you catch that, Lars? Let's check with Lars, and then we'll go to Steve, because I think Steve's got something.
Yes. Yeah, I understand to a point. I mean, I'd have to see that in practice, because that's it's late and I'm tired and my brain's not working. So I'd have to see it in practice. But
let me give you the good news: is that wire is not that expensive, and if your transformer's built correctly and you screwed it up, you just can change the wire, or you can adjust some parts of it. But the point generally is, and I think Adam even reiterated it, is keep it a little long until you're kind of sure, and then start locking it in. So remember when I did that video and I was folding back the wire before I made the cut?
Yeah.
That's why. So I'm trying to find what the length is that I want it to be by folding it back, and then I cut it when I was like, yes, this is exactly where I wanted it. Steve, did you want to add?
Yeah, so I do it a little bit, and again, I think So sure. I've designed a number of them, but I guess it depends on whether you're using inductive loading or capacitive loading. So, for instance, some of the NFEDs that I've designed have used either a 36-to-1 or lower ratio transformer for different self resonances, and also to lower some of the interwinding capacitance, and also it helps with the voltage potential build up across the transformer. It's because it's a lower impedance transformation. So one of the things you want to do with the VNA, if you can, is if you do a sweep, and I had posted an image, I think I had just grabbed off of the internet really quick. It will show you all of the dips. If you sweep it from, say, 40 meters through 10, let's say, and you look at it on the VNA, if you can see it, or even if you pick a portion that you want to operate over, you'll see the individual dips where it's resonant. And one of the things you can see as you start to trim the end of the length of the driven element, you can start to see those shift. And as you move those back and forth, then you can start to walk those into where you want. Then you can start to begin the tune. But as a starting point, I usually look to see where all the markers are on the VNA to see where it lines up on the band. And 2-to-1, even 2.5-to-1 is perfectly fine. You're going to operate perfectly fine into that. So you're not going to get every one of them perfect, but you go for the best compromise for where you want to operate.
Yeah, so this is a bit of the experiment town that you're rolling into.
Oh yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah,
VNA is the way to go, though.
Yeah, like I said, I built the I soldered all the connectors, and I put it together. I just didn't trim any of the wire. I just have it coiled up right now, and just the full length of wire that was supplied is just like wrapped around it, and I'm just waiting for an opportunity to tune it. I just didn't want to start cutting anything or folding it or do anything until I had a better idea what I was doing. All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to point out.
Back thing, I think that's a great idea, by the way.
Look at this satellite antenna. Is this the current gen K6ARK portable satellite antenna now? Because I don't think that's what you had the last time I saw
it. Yeah, that's what I had at San Clemente when we were out there.
With the foam handle? I don't remember the grip that you had. That's slick, man.
It crushed it, man.
So how much does that weigh, Adam? How much does it weigh?
It's a pound.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
But the thing, even at a pound, it's still nose heavy, and it like you get tired holding that thing out because the front of it's heavy. But what I think all the satellite or log periodic antenna manufacturers are missing is that if you extend the boom out behind the grip a little bit and put some weight back there, like in this case my HD, it balances it out. And if you ever fish with a fly rod that wasn't properly balanced and it's nose heavy, it's a pain and it wears you out to cast with the thing all day. And the same thing goes with these antennas. If you just balance it, if you have the right weight on the back end, so you're not constantly like pulling the front of it up from gravity, it makes it so easy to handle.
Yeah, I saw immediately when I saw the D72 there, I was like, oh, that's like the perfect counterweight. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're casting. Now you're doing a little roll cast for your RF. That's how you're getting your RF out there. You're just roll casting it.
That's right.
Yeah, I love the picture. Good job. All right. Do we have any other questions, or I should say, anybody here for the first time like to say hi or ask a question? Come now. I think we got them all.
Yes, my first time, Josh.
Oh,
it's
excellent.
Kenny.
Hey, Kenny.
KJ5 EKW. I was watching the Eggman Mr. Greg's stream last night, and
that was an interesting one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I got my gen back in December. I got my first rig a week ago today, and yeah, it was a lot of fun to be able to hear you on the air, on the actual airwaves for the first time.
Okay.
And
yeah. I mean,
yeah, it's just been a lot of fun. I heard you heard Mr. Grayman, and I just kind of wanted to say hey, and I have so much more to learn, but yeah, this has been a fun hobby, and thank you for your channel and everyone's help, and yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to go find the picture of it. So, oh man, K6EGG has picked up a person who wants to follow him around and actively interfere with him. Like, oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. Gee, bus, hold on.
I was wondering if he's never interfered with you, because I know you're both on the same side of the country. That he sounds like a fan of influencers.
I think he's a jerk, personally. So no, and I think part of it is because I don't do as many single sideband activation or live streams as Greg does. So that is the interference this guy was throwing out. On my flex, that was a 30 over S9, and look how wide that signal was. That's what that guy was doing. That's how much power that guy was putting out, and he was actively chasing Greg around on 40 and 80 meters specifically. It is the most egregious version of interfering I've seen in a long time. And yes, yes, there's many a budding DFing person that were in the chat that believes they know where he's at in Lancaster, California. So, yeah, you play hard. Sometimes people figure out where you're at, but that is like, look at the splatter on that thing. That's crazy. That was a 3.3 kilohertz wide passband for my receiver, and he's that on both sides. That's how wide that was.
He was extremely loud out here in Oklahoma on my little
Oklahoma ATOS. On your ATOS. Yeah.
So Josh, is that going to warrant a email to the FCC like you taught us on the podcast?
Well, so it's see, this is really tough, right? It's not
what freak.
It didn't matter. Whatever Greg was on, he followed him around. He followed him around. HF 40 and 80 specifically. 40 and 80. So I'm not going to step in for Greg to do this because it sounds like Greg has been harassed by this guy multiple times. I don't know that we know exactly where this person is yet, but yes, this would be a case where you would take this information and go to the FCC with it. And you know what's great about live streaming is you have the evidence. You could just point them to you could say, hey, Laura, check out timestamp blah, blah, blah of this live stream. Here's the individual, and notice how it sounds just like blah, 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 and this, that, the whole thing. This is an egregious overuse of power. This is an intentional interference with a lot of power this guy's putting down. So,
Josh, let me interject really quick, if I may.
Yes, sir.
How funny would this be? Because I watched Greg. I enjoy his channel.
Yeah, good guy.
So probably like a year ago, someone was on. He was on like D-Star or something, one of the digital modes, and one guy was like, "You do not have my permission to record my transmissions and blah blah blah." He was like, it was hilarious, and Greg, much like myself, made a thing of it, and you know, I wonder if it's the same guy.
Well, what's hilarious is, did nobody reply to him? It's like, you know that there's no privacy in amateur radio. Everything is completely in the open. You're not hiding anything.
That all in that stream a couple years ago. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It was all talked about.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. But I wonder. I'm just wondering now, like 2 years later, a year later.
That was his villain origin story.
Is this that guy?
That was his origin story. That was
the crappy thing is, so like I had a guy key up on me today.
Yeah.
Through probably like 10 QSOs. He was just key down, hammer down, right?
Like CW, or he was tuning, or he's just
okay. Just CW tone. Like
that's when you engage that
long
notch filter.
enough to where you know, like he's not just tuning up his amp, right?
Right. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's just you
got a bad amp there, bud.
Yeah, and I just ignored it, and I made the QSOs, and it went away eventually after 5 or 10 minutes, whatever.
Ignore the QSO was the big key.
I genuinely feel this guy was trying to cause malicious harm to my activation today.
Yes, he was.
But I was just sitting in my car. What Greg has to deal with is, so he can't like pretend he doesn't hear them. You know what I mean?
Oh no, we were talking about it.
Because it's all live.
I was.
So the guy that's QRMing him can just sit there, key down. And he's watching the live stream, so he knows he's causing interference.
Well, I'm on 40. I'm on 40 on single sideband, and I've got my Power Genius putting out a ton of power. I'm trying to talk through this guy. It was a lot, man. It was interesting.
Yeah.
It was, okay. No, he should stop immediately. Please stop. You're not helping anybody out. Like, join us. Like, talk with us. Get on the air. Like, you know what's so funny about this is, He could stop interfering today and then just start talking with us and be a part of the community, and no one would know. He could die and we would never know his great secret that he was the big interferer.
He probably already does.
And maybe he is. Maybe he's just trolling for funsies. I don't know. But like,
it's one of the people we hung out with last weekend.
Yeah. You could just hang out with. Actually, I've heard some stories. I can't. They're not my stories, so I won't tell them.
Can we blame John Gendron?
Can we? I don't know that we can.
Can we? Because he had a phased array at the K-Toads meetup. I'm just gonna say it was John Gendron because he's a huge viewer of our channels. He's a big fan.
You're just gonna throw him under the bus?
He's a great person.
And
let's just blame him.
Oh my
John
goodness.
Gendron.
Oh no.
John, did you feel that bust as it ran over you?
Oh, Shane, you have not seen Mailbag Monday yet, apparently.
No, I'm watching it right now.
Okay. Well, let's just say, yep. Okay, just watch Mailbag Monday, Shane. It's already uploaded to Patreon.
That's why I saw it pop up.
Yeah.
Thing is, this guy's not just doing it on Greg's live streams. He's doing it when he goes out and does POTA too.
Yeah, he's got a hard on for Greg.
I've had problems with him too when I've live streamed.
He's all bricked up with you guys. He just finds you so attractive that he can't stop interfering.
So let me just address.
He needs to go to OnlyHams for that.
He does.
When you are doing this and you are an activator and someone's just hammer down, key up, trying to interfere with you, that's what your notch filter's for.
It is. Well,
notch filter.
100%.
Agreed, Mike. This though was the full bandwidth of noise. He was It was like he was PTT down on like Yaesu System Fusion on HF. Like he was just dumping a full bandwidth, like full, and put an amp behind it. He had massive power. Crazy.
Did they get an APRS signal from that?
Yeah. He was just beakening APRS.
Is that a Yaesu? I mean,
well, you're making this DF really easy, bud. You're literally transiting APRS. No, it wasn't that.
DB.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. Absolutely insane. All right, I need to use the restroom really quick. Do we have another question? Can somebody take the? What's that? Oh, what is this? There's a POTA what's going on over here? Oh, it's a POTA Japan. That's why, because I'm on the big circle. So have you used the azimuthal map yet on Grid Tracker? It's pretty cool.
Not a fan.
Yeah, no, this is great because, well, for me with a rotor, this tells me where I need to point my my rig. So if I wanted to go to Japan right now, I'm way north of what I would think. To Japan on the globe is actually shooting like way over there. I can't make my finger work that way. It's close to like 300 degrees from where I'm at. It's pretty cool.
Which only helps prove the flat Earth.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what it does. Yeah. Yeah.
You walked into that one, Josh.
Yeah.
Dude, I tried that. I downloaded Grid Tracker 2.0 and I tried that, and I'm not a fan of that azimuthal map.
All right. I need to use the
Not a
restroom.
fan.
Michael, you have a question? I'm going to let the other folks take it for you. Go ahead, ask your question.
Yeah, I've had a couple of issues with my dipole that I made. I was talking to you guys a while back about it. But what has been the best hello?
Yeah, keep going. What's the question?
Okay, so I built a half-wave dipole, and I've been trying to figure out what is the best height. It's horizontal. What is the best height off the ground? Someone told me go 11 feet. Someone said put it up 20 feet. Another person said put it up as high as you can. But then someone came back to me and said, well, if you put it exactly 16 feet off the ground, you'll be able to receive and transmit farther because you're using the ground to boost your signal. Is that true?
Oh, boy.
What band?
Yeah, oh, boy.
Okay, so yeah, we're talking 11 meters and 10 meters.
So typically, the best height for a dipole is generally a half wave, or slightly more, between half wave and say 0.5 and between half a wave to
Just say a half a wave.
Yeah, of height at the band you want to operate on, and that's generally good. What happens is the lower you bring a dipole down to the ground, the lower the impedance of the dipole becomes, and the more straight up a pattern you'll get from the dipole itself. It becomes a nearly vertical pattern the lower you bring it to the ground. The higher you go up, especially when you start to approach a half wave or better, the impedance will drop to about 72. Will come up to about 72 ohms or so. So you'll be able to actually load it without a tuner most of the time, and your pattern will actually end up having a slightly lower takeoff angle of radiation, so that you work a little bit better DX.
Yeah, before we just had a real bad storm, and before the storm, I had it 1 to 3. On
SWR, if it's lower than 3 to 1, you're fine.
Okay, and then when you were talking 75 ohms, someone also said I'm running LMR 400 also, and someone said I should go to 75 ohm with my half meter, and it would be less noise. Is that a good idea?
No, you're perfectly fine. It's a 1.5 to 1 mismatch at the most. It's mice nuts, as we say in the business. You're perfectly fine. Get it at least a half wave off the ground, depending on the frequency that you're operating on, as high up as you can get it, and you should be fine.
All right, I appreciate that. Yeah, I put it on a mast that I can adjust, and so that's what's nice about it is I've been trying to find a sweet spot, but I've heard too many different opinions, and that's why I thought I'd come on here and ask.
There's science, so yeah, that's when we deploy, even commercially, say a dipole is going to operate best between a half wave and 3/4 wave off the ground.
So for 10 meters, that's 18 to 20 feet.
Correct. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, you guys.
But you have to experiment with your ground conditions. So what Steve just said is a goal, right? It's somewhere between 18 and 22 feet.
Yeah.
Put it up, see where it is, and make tiny adjustments.
Yeah, past a half wave, you're actually going to decrease the amount of displacement current, which of your interaction with the Earth. So at that point, I think Adam may have even mentioned it in the chat. It's at that point, it's there's very little interaction with the ground, but you'll also start to lose some of the lower angle radiation lobes.
Oh, my phone just kind of. Okay, are you guys there? It's dying. All right, yeah, no, the ground wise, I'm on granite. I go 12 inches down, it's solid rock, and then I'm at 5,000 foot. So, all right, thank you guys, appreciate it.
All right, very good. I hope that that helped. Man, I'm not getting audio out now. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to have to screw around with my settings right now for WC. Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh no, Josh. I was saying we could hear you since you said you weren't getting audio out.
No, on WSJTX.
Oh, copy. Well, if nobody else wants to go, I got a couple questions. Well.
Yeah, somebody's got a hot mic. If they could, yeah. Go ahead and ask your question. Then we're gonna go say hi to some YouTubers.
All right, sounds good. Oh, speaking of YouTube, I'm happy to say that 2 weeks ago I passed the 100 subscriber mark.
Congrats,
so
man.
Yeah, thank you. And then I have two questions here. So my first question is, I saw this thing. It's called the ISO Power Plus. It's made by West Mountain Radio. I'm putting a link in the live stream chat. And I was wondering, is this a good idea for running my radios in my truck? All I'm really running is two VHF UHFs and a scanner and a CB. So I'm not pulling too much power. So I'm wondering, is that a good option so that I don't drain my main batteries on my pickup? And then second question is, will that eliminate alternator and fan noise from my truck?
So the first one, yeah, this helps you from killing your battery. That's its primary function. But no. So because remember, okay, there's a big thing to keep in mind with interference. If you are picking the interference up on your antenna, then there's no amount of power shielding that you can do. And because the antenna is so close to the engine, it is likely that if you have a loud alternator or coil packs are sometimes a problem too, and your antenna is picking it up, the mitigation is replacing those items basically. That's really the only option you have. You can't choke your way out of a problem like that because it's so wide banded and broad that it kills your noise floor.
Okay, yeah, and I mostly noticed it on the CB when I turn my fan on. The blower motor makes a crap ton of noise, so I wasn't sure, and if there was any way to eliminate that. And then second question, my pickup stands at 6 feet, and I went out and measured the other day. I actually measured a power pole. The lowest that the utilities go is 10 foot. So does anybody have any good VHF, UHF antennas that are NMO that are under 4 feet tall?
Yes, there's. I use a tram, and it's about 12 inches, but it's not a gain antenna. It's got a little curly Q in the middle of it that's wound around a bolt, it looks like, and it might be 12 or 14 inches. It works good.
Okay, my current antenna is a loaner, and when I get my friend's radio back to him, I want to give him everything back, so I'm just kind of browsing right now.
I'll drop it in the chat from Amazon if I can find it real quick. The only other thing that I was going to suggest, because I had to do this with my pickup the other day, I put a dash 31 240 toroid and wound at least 9 on the power cable, 9 wraps or 10 wraps, and it killed my fan and noise.
Okay, it's not that big of a deal because I only noticed it on CB and AM broadcast, but if I put an HF in the truck, it's going to be a problem. It's just kind of my thing for right now.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. In my Ford, it doesn't hurt to put more. And I went from an S6 or so down to not hearing any noise at all.
All right. Well, I'll take a look at it. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So let's say hi to some YouTuber friends and go around the room and say what's up to everybody. So let's see, going down the list. I think Bill, Ham Radio Tectonics, is the first I see. How you doing, man? Oh, no Bill. We got Bill in the house? All right, we'll come back to Bill. Who's next? Scream out. Did I miss anybody? Digital Rancher is next, I think. You there, bud?
Hey, I'm
oh,
here.
there he is.
Sorry,
Okay, good,
Josh.
good, good.
Yeah, I've been bouncing in and out, enjoying the chat tonight. Hey, everybody. Yeah, just here I'm still unpacking crap from Hamcation and getting through a bunch of footage. I've got a few videos out. I've got a few more to do. Had a blast. It was great to see everybody. Just really got me charged up. I can't wait for Dayton. Yeah, other than that, just kind of doing the winter thing here in Texas, trying to get through. We're gonna have temps down in the teens, some kind of crazy nonsense like that. So next week, so just trying to get a bunch of chores and stuff done around the house, and like I said, trying to get through a bunch of footage. But yeah, thanks for giving me a shout out tonight.
Absolutely. And I realized after I imported all my videos that there was an entire other camera that I haven't imported yet. So that's going to be fun.
Oh, wow.
I didn't realize. I was like, oh, yeah, no, I shot some stuff on the DJI Osmo. I think I have like 3 or 4 interviews on that. I'm like, oh, whoops, I'm not done. That's not good. By the way, if anybody doesn't know this, Hamfest videos don't do very well. Livestream does very good. Like, that live stream this year was great. And thank you, everybody, for watching. But the after the action videos, not really where it's at. Like, not really popular. So the fact that I got this other video that I got to deal with, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So we'll see. But
it's cool that I have one of those coming up next week. Thanks.
What's that?
After action.
I mean, I do too, but I'm saying like
no, it's not.
Popularity-wise, they're just not as popular after the fact.
I'm showing all the things I got. That's my after action.
Oh, I love that's great though. That's always good. So yeah, good call on you on that one for sure. Okay, let's see. By the way, anybody on YouTube, like, please speak up. You gotta speak up if I don't call you out. Where's my radio? I swear I'm gonna get on FT8 before we end this live stream. Let's put that up there right now, then we'll continue on here. Okay.
What band are you on, Josh?
I'm gonna be on 40, hopefully, when I get going. Let's see. Next, Grayman Poda. How you doing, man?
I am doing good. Can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. I wasn't sure I was having some soundboard issues. No, just staying busy like Rob, unpacking everything and some sand and all that stuff out of my bags from the trip down to Orlando. It was like 87 degrees when I flew out of Florida, and it was 22 degrees when I got back home. And I have been yearning to go back ever since. So doing that. Been doing some live streaming. Did a couple live streams yesterday.
Nice.
One this morning, one the day before, and I'm going to do another one tomorrow morning from the park, just live stream activations.
Oh, he's getting serious about live streaming. Nice.
Yeah, well, I'm investing
cool.
a couple bucks and some stuff. I want to do it, but I found a good spot in the park where I can get 5G and I can live stream, and it's pretty decent quality.
That's what you need, man. 5G is where it's at.
Got the 5Gs and trying to get them to get a 6G in there.
Yeah, we need them. We need all them Gs. We need even the Kenny
Don,
Gs.
Don, can you hook me up with some extra Gs? I know you know where they're hidden.
Yeah, Don, where are all my extra Gs at? How do I get some more Gs?
Where did Don go?
Oh, where did Don go?
Yeah,
Don no, we lost Don. He's usually the longest one out here.
He's probably in his new shack counting all those extra G's he's got.
He's got all those G's in the shack. He's that's where he's hiding the G's.
I've been in Don's shack. It's a pretty cool shack to be.
You don't have to talk about that. That's just between you and Don, okay?
I'm just saying.
Okay.
He's got a nice
What
shack.
happens in Don Shack stays in Don Shack.
Yeah. I don't
Exactly.
Tim, you're nowhere near us, buddy. You have no idea what goes on.
Nor do I want
Okay.
to.
Oh, that was it. I just had to shut the thing down. So okay, we're back
Hey,
on the air.
On a side note, today Mike was activating on a couple different bands, and he was on 40 meters. So I went over there, and I see him in the waterfall. I see his thing, but he got overridden by the colonoscopy net, and I mean literally the colonoscopy. I recorded it and sent it to him so he could hear it.
Did you send me audio of that? I just saw a picture.
No, I sent you the video from. I recorded the waterfall and the audio from the Flex.
Oh, okay. I looked at, maybe it was just a picture of it because I was still activating like when you texted me. I'll have to go back and watch. I heard nothing.
Yeah, check it out.
I heard nothing, and then I could kind of hear like someone coming up. Like the bands were wonky today. Bands were bad today. I still made it happen.
Nice, very good. Nope, didn't work. There's something wrong with my my setup. Something screwy, so I'll have to mess around with it in a second. All right, going down the list. Let's see who's next.
Hey, Josh, can I go next?
Oh yes, please, Ed. Please, thank you. Jump in. Go ahead. Bud.
No problem. I know I'm the noob. It's okay.
Seriously, no offense taken. Say something, as I'm not going to remember if I gotta look at your name and call sign and see your avatar, and I gotta see it enough times that I can remember. So you got it. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. No worries, man. No
Thank
worries. You. Okay. Yeah, everything's good. I posted my first review video I think it was last week or a couple weeks ago. So at least get that under my belt. Also, yesterday was the Super Bowl parade, and what I was attempting to do was, at least for any local hams, I wanted to get some QSOs on, like maybe on 52 or another simplex. And dumbass me forgot my HT because we were rushing out the door to try to get to the parade. So also I posted a short saying, "Call myself a dumbass," and to the guy who made the comment, one comment on my short, "Yes, I'm going to trim my nose hairs. Thank you very much. I appreciate that."
Yeah. Now, everybody that's a YouTuber, make sure to drop the links for your channel or whatever video you want people to check out too. If we can do that, that'd be cool too. So make sure you
Thank
do
you,
that.
sir.
All right, going down the list. K6ARK, Adam, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Let's see, I posted in the chats a recent project that I was tinkering with for some soda friends. It was a loading coil for that 17-foot whip to make it work on 40 meters. And I actually got a request from some friends, so I threw something together, and I didn't have time to prototype it myself. So I just started sending files to them, and they would send me updates, and lo and behold, the dang thing worked. So it's pretty cool. It's 3D printed form. It ends up being about 16 turns on a 50 millimeter diameter cylinder for the loading coil. And then on the version that I built, I added a BNC connector and a little jumper to bypass the coil, so you don't have to unscrew things to switch from 40 meters to the higher bands.
Nice.
And I guess it turns out it works pretty good. People are using it already. And as I finalize the design, I'll post it up on printables for everybody else to make too.
Nice. Very good. Cool.
Looks sweet.
All right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then I'll be taking a couple days off of work. I'll be camping up at Halama Beach, which is just south of Vandenberg, north of Santa Barbara on the coast. So if you see some, it's not a POTA or a soda, but if you see my call sign pop up on Ham Alert, work me, and I'll be there having some fun and relaxing for a change.
You deserve it, man. Good for you. Right on.
Much needed, man.
Yeah, seriously. I know you've been busy too, so. All right. Let's see. Next is the K-Merds, K8MRD Ham Radio Tube. How's it going?
What did I do?
Oh, wait. No, wait. Did I screw up? Wait.
I think so. I hope so. Where's Frank? He's supposed to tell you.
I know, seriously. Did we...
It can't be.
I'm glad I have a push.
Where is he? Oh, Mark was here. Where'd Mark go? Is Mark still here? Mark Knight?
Hey, Dennis. I'm still here.
Oh, you changed. Did you change your avatar?
Yeah, I thought it probably shouldn't be a
You
Kerbal anymore.
screwed
That
me
was
up,
pretty
man.
old.
You screwed me up. Okay, all right. I was looking ahead. Okay, K8MRD's next. Go ahead, Mike. Freaking me out.
I'm so confused.
No, you're good. You're good. You got it.
Well, who's radio operator now? Why does
You
that
are.
say me?
You're operating. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Everybody's been sick. Leia's still sick. I dodged it by taking some very expensive antiviral nose spray that I bought off of Amazon. I'm not gonna tell you go take what was the thing everybody told you to take in COVID that was not a COVID drug?
Ivermectin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ivermectin.
right.
Like I don't believe in any of that stuff. But I was watching, who was it? Deviant Ollam. You guys all follow Deviant Ollam? You know who Deviant Ollam is, by the way? Does anybody?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
Deviant Ollam's like, there's this things that I own when I go to a convention, and he goes to a lot of conventions. And one of the things he owns is this thing called Enovid. It's a nose spray, and he shoots this nose spray into his nostrils, and I bought it. And I whenever I get around people, and I know I'm going to be around people, I go boop boop, hit my nose. I have not gotten sick. I haven't gotten the flu. I haven't gotten any of this crud that's going around. And I got kids, and they all got the crud. They all got it. I've dodged it like the plague. I've dodged all of it. It's not been a problem. And so Deviant Ollam, shout out. I don't know what's in that stuff. I had to get it from Israel, and it showed up.
I'm just thinking
It showed
of
up.
kids.
It showed up with. It's not even in English. I'm spraying it into my nose. It's like, okay, sure, I'm that guy right now. But Deviant Ollam said to do it, so it's good enough.
Well,
Did you Google the translation?
No, I got Enovid, and I
Don't.
just boop, boop boop. We're done. We're good.
I feel.
Fingers, say your prayers.
Was Leia and the kids not talking about they kind of felt bad when we were in Florida?
They were sick when we were in Florida,
Yeah,
and then I came back,
yeah.
and they're still sick. They're still coughing and
Yeah.
hocking up a lung and all that stuff.
Start snorting stuff up your nose, kids.
There
What's
it
it
is.
called? Ivermectin?
No, it's Enovid.
Enovid. There you go.
Sounds lovely.
Mm.
Oh, so
Somebody's
about
got
me.
a
Thanks
nice
for
mic.
asking, Josh. I
Yes, sir.
appreciate it.
Yeah, how you doing? I did. I said, how you doing? Where were you at here?
I'm just as good as I was a few days ago when we left. I filmed. So I love Hamfest because they reset my clock. So yesterday, I woke up at 6:30 in the morning, which is rare for me, but I love it. I filmed 2 videos. I edited one, and then I edited the other one this morning. They're both uploaded to the patrons and the channel subscribers. I was quite productive the last 2 days.
Good.
And then I did a POTA today with that alpha antenna. I don't know if you saw that.
I
The
didn't.
antenna that I got from Steve.
The FMJ.
Yeah. Dude. I posted earlier in the chat there on the Discord. So first me and my dad took that antenna out on the boat.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah. I got a video about that. But then today I didn't film anything. I just wanted to play with a new antenna. I got 74 contacts. 74, 78, I don't know. I posted the thing up there. It's literally a multi-band, all band 80 through 6 antenna. No tuner.
And effective.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, from your experience, it's fine.
I mean, hang on, let me find the thing here. There it is. I'm posting it in the Discord chat right now. That's the map. I did 40, 20, 17, 15, 12, and 10.
Oh, nice.
I was sitting in my car at 891. I unscrewed my ATOS. I plugged in some Messi and Plony Potaflex 6, and then out to the Alpha Antennas FMJ. And I was just like, I'm going to do 40. I'm going to do them all. And I did. And I crushed it. It's great.
There you go. Good feeling. There is a question in the chat for you specifically, Mike. What is the best video for learning DaVinci Resolve?
What is the best video?
Or I guess video or channel or something along those lines.
Who asked that?
That would be me there, sir.
Oh, that's Ed.
Yes.
Look up Casey Ferris.
Yeah, so
Faris, Casey Ferris.
So Casey Ferris? Okay. Oh,
thanks
cool.
for stealing my thunder.
Ah, he gotcha.
Hey, Mr. Alex
You
Tech.
son of a bitch. And screw you, Tim. So Casey
Love you,
Ferris.
Mike.
Okay. Casey Ferris.
Because people ask me this. Casey Ferris and
Ferris, okay.
Mr. Alex Tech. Casey Ferris is going to be the guy that's really going to, like, you just downloaded the program. What do I do now?
Mm-hmm.
That's Casey Ferris.
Okay.
But then he teaches you literally everything else. 100%, I go to Casey Ferris first. 100% of the time.
Okay.
Mr. Alex Tech is more like animations and, well, he's Australian too, so he's got a funny accent. And he's fun to listen to.
Okay.
Just Casey Ferris and Mr. Alex Tech.
Oh, very cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
And DaVinci Resolve is free.
Yeah, get a good logger.
Oh,
or
yes.
get a good editor.
I
That's
love
the
it.
best
I've
advice.
been
I
messing
do.
with it.
Go ahead. No,
I
go ahead.
was going to say, I love it. It's like I'm just trying to get my, trying to work my way through it. And I just want to make sure, like, I try to get some smoother videos out there. So I
Hey,
just want
Mike.
to see who it can go to try to really not get it down, but at least get to the point where I'm not having any fits and starts. It doesn't look like my videos don't look like crap.
Well, that starts with your camera. And
yeah, I was gonna say that's garbage in, garbage out. What are you shooting
True.
on?
Yeah, that is very true.
What are you shooting and what's your frame rate?
Let's see, I'm not sure of the frame rate, but I'm actually using my Android, Galaxy S. I can't remember the number.
I
have an Android phone. I'm using that because that's probably better picture quality than I have a Nexigo laptop cam.
Oh
So
yeah, don't use a laptop camera for that.
Oh,
no,
God, no. Oh God, no.
Yeah, I guess. So, okay. Mike shoots on an iPhone. I've shot on an iPhone. iPhones are great. I don't know anything about Android cameras other than like it's a great meme. Everybody makes fun of Android cameras, but they got to be pretty good, right? Right? Somebody?
So far, so good. I never got
Shot on Android is not a.
Yeah, nobody says that as like a big proud
not a
moment.
Campaign.
No.
I do all my stuff on Android.
Do you?
I
Okay.
don't have any. Yeah, I do all my stuff on Android.
Do you though, Robert? All your stuff at home?
Yeah, I do all my
Do
stuff
you really?
on Android.
Mac computers behind you?
No, I do. I also have a webcam that I use for a second camera, but these Android phones will do 8K if you want to deal with file size that large. But I shoot in 4K, 60 frames.
Really?
I mean, my mom has an S22, and its camera is way better than my iPhone 12 mini. And it probably doesn't help that I've dropped this phone so many times, but
That doesn't help. No.
yeah, but apples to apples. Her and I's phones probably have had the same exposure to stuff, and mine starts flickering when I use the front-facing camera, and not hers yet. So that's kind of my personal take.
So I'm getting out like no business, but nobody's replied to me yet. This is wild. Is my radio working?
I do need to testify on DaVinci Studio.
I'm on 40, Mike. Go ahead. Go ahead, Gray Man.
I
Sorry.
see you. Hang on.
Yeah.
I have a question.
So, Mike really advocates people getting DaVinci Studio.
It's good and
once
free.
you get into it. No, the DaVinci, the Studio version is the paid version, right? So,
sure.
There's some things that come with it that you don't get in the free version. 95% of it's available in the free version, and some of the things that you get in the Studio, there's some workarounds. but the voice isolation, going through and cleaning up the audio, just literally flipping a toggle switch for the voice isolation in shooting there at the Hamfest inside the building is night and day. I mean, it's just literally flip a switch, and the speaker's audio is does not sound distorted. It doesn't sound like it's processed. It doesn't sound horrible. It is beautiful, and it is worth every bit of money that studio version is, whatever the $200-300 it is one lifetime.
Is the voice isolation what you get from doing if you pay for it?
I believe so. Yeah, I don't think that's part of the standard one.
Okay, so I mean, I use Final Cut Pro, and that's included. So everything's paid for in Final Cut. You have to pay for it.
Worth the money, absolutely worth the money. But enough about DaVinci. There's a question out there.
Okay, there's got to be a question somewhere. But let's go down the list. We're gonna keep going. So thank you, Mike. Who's next? Mark Hughes, Boondock Echo. How's it going, man?
Boondock Echo? Did I hear Boondock Echo?
He's not even here.
I think he said.
You might not have heard it. He said earlier.
I don't know that he heard it. No audio. Oh, I said
issue.
no audio. Oh no, Mark. Oh no. After I give you such an opening. Oh no. Well, go check out our friends at Boondock Echo. Go watch my video. Go watch Great Man POTUS. Oh, he make it. There it is. He's here.
It. Okay. Yeah, I've been trying to get on all night. I don't know what was going on. Something with Discord.
Either,
but anyways, yes, I heard Boondock Echo.
You did.
I've got good news. We now have an official mascot.
Do you have a picture of the official mascot?
Yeah, I posted it a minute ago. I'll post it again.
Post it again.
He's
Let's do it.
our Boondog, and his name is Echo.
This Boondog Echo. I love it. All right.
What do these devices do?
Oh, we got a boot. Oh, that looks like my new dog June,
everything
that I'm not a fan of.
Okay, so this latest iteration of our device takes in any audio, no matter how quiet, and turns it into a loud bark and sometimes some urine. It's really cool technology.
Oh wow, that sounds exactly. What is that? Like a doodle something or a what is that?
You know, we don't know.
Okay, that looks like my dog.
He's a pound puppy, and that's him with hair. And then that was him when he was 6 weeks old, and then he's a little older now.
This looks like an AI dog.
Boondoodle.
It's a boondoodle. That's right.
Boondoodle. There you go.
So there he is. I know, how cute is that? You got to show that on YouTube.
Oh, look at that.
Things are going pretty well. We're still pursuing the scanner option, so we can remote control the Uniden Bearcat 125AT. So what we're pushing towards is you can be on your Boondock web page, and you can say, hey, I want to tune in another frequency, and you can push it. We can push that info out, change your scanner frequency so that you can, kind of like a remote rig, except this would be a receive-only version for now.
So everybody listening, Boondock Echo, and this is my elevator speech. You plug this into a radio, just about any radio, you can give it an audio chain, and it will copy a lot of what it's hearing, right? And you can say, hey, tell me if I hear a call sign, or tell me if I hear soda, or tell me if I hear POTA, or if you're listening to emergency frequencies, you can put police codes in the whole thing, and then you can tell it, email me if any of those pop up. So my wife uses this on my scanner, and it emails her when something happens in our local community. It's been great. She loves it. Everybody loves it. Everybody loves Boondock Echo, and they're he's here. You can literally talk to him and say, hey, have you ever thought about doing X, Y, and Z, which literally happened like last week, and we were coming up with new ideas on fun stuff that they can continue to do, which is just awesome.
Oh, yeah, man, we love it.
Yeah.
And what we're trying to do, I don't know if we're going to do it, but we're trying real hard. We found, $12 dev board on Amazon. We think if all you want to do is receive, we think we can do it with that. So you guys don't even necessarily have to wait for us to figure out this whole manufacturing and tariffs thing anymore. 3D print yourself a case, buy that thing off Amazon, and you'll be up and running in no time. So That's what we're working towards. So we can focus on our commercial customers and let the amateur people do amateur things and, rock it on their own.
That's awesome. I love to hear that. This is literally the longest I've had to wait to get an FT8 contact in almost the entirety of my live streaming. Is there something wrong with my radio? This is PSK Reporter showing, so people are hearing me. I don't know what's going on. This is crazy.
You still blasting 1,500 whiskeys?
No, I'm not. Am I low? Wait, I might be low. Hold on. No, I'm 100 watts. 100 watts.
I do see a question real quick, Josh. Somebody says, does Boondock Echo have AI? Yes, we do. We run it on our own servers, and we're also working real hard to make it so that we can do it on edge servers, which means nothing has to leave your care and control. So yes, we have our own servers, but you don't necessarily have to use them. So we're working on making that a little more stable for people.
Oh, right on. I like that. Yeah, I'm getting picked up by a ton of people. This is freaking me out. What the heck is going on? Oh, negative 23 out on the edges. Where's this guy?
Okay, and then I'll add other things too.
Yeah, go for it.
If anybody has a Bearcat and anybody wants a 3D model, I made a really tight-fitting scanner holder, if that's of interest to anybody.
Oh, yeah. Drop the...
Okay, I'll drop the STL. Give me a sec.
Hey, Jody.
Right, thanks, Josh.
Jody, reply back to me really fast so I know my radio's working.
Oh, I'm just picking you up on Kiwi here. I don't have a...
Oh, my God. What is going on? Is everybody just receiving? Like, okay, so you know what the joke was? Is for the longest time, people were like, you just got to get on the radio and call CQ. Buddy, you just got to call CQ. Just get on the mic and call CQ. And single sideband, this is like when WSJTX started to really take off. And so we got to the point that everybody's like, we're kind of done with single sideband. We're all just going to go digital at this point until it's, POTA, for example, whatever. But are we now only just receiving WSJTX now? We're not even making contacts there. Like, we're unwilling to make contacts on WSJTX. That's hilarious. I don't know what's going on. This is crazy. I'm getting like DX. I'm making it all over. I'm making it into I'm not used to looking at the map this way. Oh yeah. I'm making it into España and France. And no, I'm not. What is this? All the way down to South Africa at negative 22. Not making any contacts. What the heck is going on right now? This is wild. This is weird. Reboot. Is there people just replying to me right now? Oh, that's not good. I'm decoding.
Hold on, let's see your clock.
Yeah, no, I'm decoding. DT's good. Time is good. Oh, let's DT again. Maybe I'm just way out of whack with my time, but that's not even. Sync it up.
Have you tried a factory reset?
Factory reset everything. As Gray Man, I swear, if you come at me with that,
I'm going to send you a shirt, Josh.
Nah, yeah. I'm not doing it, man. I'm not doing it. All right. So Matt hit us up in the chat, and he was like, nothing to report, Matt. If you want to drop your channel, your favorite video, go for it, man. That'd be cool. Let's see. Now it is Mark Soda Plus, a first-time YouTuber in the chat. My buddy, my personal friend is here. Has hung out with Adam, an actual cool guy. Mark, how you doing? Join us on the Discord for the first time.
Hey, Josh. Thanks for the warm welcome, and it's exciting to be here. And I'm excited that we have Aura here, too.
Oh, man, we got Aura here,
What's
too?
up?
What? Oh, man. How's it going, dude? What have you been up to, Mark?
Well, I got started in microwave for the first time ever this week. And Aura and I went up and activated a Soda Summit using a new microwave radio.
That you guys are working on?
Well, I don't know how to build microwave radios yet, but Doug K6JEY is an Elmer in the Los Angeles area, and he put together a new radio called Bluey that uses a transverter, a preamp, and a horn antenna, and integrates all of that inside of a really cute little blue case. And so we took that up to try it out.
How'd that go? Well, here, I'll pull. Let me.
Yeah, so we made a video of it. If we could drop that in the links, that'd be cool. But it worked really, really well, phenomenally well. We made a summit-to-summit contact with Devin, KN6P8Z, who is on the next mountain over. And we also managed to make a contact 191 kilometers away with Tony, and that's 118 miles in freedom units.
100? How long? How far?
118 miles in freedom units.
Oh, there's Ara. He's literally. That's nice. All right, cool. Good shooting too. This is a really good video. I'm gonna drop the link. So we're literally watching the microwave video here.
Oh, fantastic. I think the coolest thing about it that I forgot to put in the video is that we could not make a 2-meter contact. Our handhelds couldn't make the hop, but on microwave we were getting just perfect signal reports.
Yeah, let me fast forward here a little bit. I want to see the setup of this bat. Okay, there you go. It's like a 3D printed box. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it was very cool to see microwave propagation. We managed to bounce signals off of Santa Monica, and we got to compare an 18 dB horn with a much bigger dish that Ara brought. Ara's a regular on the channel, and he's been a really good mentor on the microwave journey.
Yeah, man, I got to upgrade to what you have. I carried like this 40-pound backpack with a 12-volt, 12 amp hour Bioenno battery, and like a Down East microwave transverter, my IC705, and a giant dish like strapped to my backpack. I like your solution a lot more. I'm gonna have to poke Doug and Tony to help build me one of those.
What's the frequency that operates at?
This
10
was at
gigahertz. Oh, yeah.
10.3683 gigahertz.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, and what's cool is, Devin, we activated Strawberry Peak and Lawler, and if you're familiar with those summits in the SoCal area, they kind of split off about halfway through the hike at a saddle, and so Devin ran up Strawberry, and Mark and I went up Lawler, and of course, we could see each other from summit to summit, and we're able to make some fun contacts that way. And then to mix things up and spice things up a bit, we decided to, instead of aiming at each other, we decided to both point at some buildings down in Santa Monica, and we're able to actually reflect our signals off the buildings down there and make the contact. So that was a ton of fun.
That is cool. This looks amazing. Yeah, so go. I don't want to spoil this because this is a good 20-minute video of you guys activating, but yeah, how many contacts did you make like locally, like in the area in microwave, like when you're pointing around? How much who'd you find?
Well, it turns out, and this is something I learned during the activation, on microwave you don't just generally find people. Everything is done with pre-coordinated contacts.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
use,
yes.
cell phones. But conveniently, Southern California has a phenomenally rich microwave scene, and so there's a lot of people to have contacts with down here.
Yeah, but I mean, they knew you were going up there, right?
Oh, they absolutely knew where we were going to be. They knew the frequency we were on. They also, all of them, helped build the radios. So yeah, they knew exactly what was happening.
Oh, okay, all right. That's very cool. I love it. So yeah, I dropped the link so you guys go check that out. But it's pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff.
Well, thanks for the chance to share, Josh.
Yeah, and feel free to hang out and add your thoughts to all our nonsense here. So right on. All right, going down the list.
Hey Josh, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a Yagi TC-YG771. How do I check the SWR if I have no meter?
If you have no meter on your radio, well, the antenna doesn't matter. It's you use your radio, right?
I have no meter on my radio either.
Your radio doesn't have, what is your radio?
It's a Midland MT275.
Midland is that GMRS or is it CB? I'm not hearing you.
It's just like what you have, GMRS.
It's GMRS. Okay. So you have to go buy a meter for GMRS radios generally. They don't generally give you a readout of what your SWR is. That's something that you dip more into when you get into amateur radio. So you'd have to buy a device that you'd put on the outbound side of the radio with a coax jumper that would then lead off to the antenna to be able to read that appropriately. Okay. All right. Very good. Okay, going down the list. Let's see. Who am I missing? Did I get it? Okay, let's go back. Is there any YouTubers I didn't get yet that would like to say hi? Speak up.
I wouldn't mind saying something if possible.
There he is. There he is. Okay, good. Ham Radio Rookie, go for it, man. How you doing? How you been? What you up to?
Oh, about 5'10". I haven't changed much since I turned about 19 or so. But I haven't been up to a whole lot. But I just wanted to give a shout out to Adam there. Being the ham radio rookie, when I first got into things, I thought, hey, I can just go out and buy a bunch of toroids and make my own balance and stuff. And being, not knowing what to look for, I just bought a whole bunch of whatever was cheapest on Amazon. And I got these, what I thought was orange, but colorblind Ben realized must be red because Adam corrected me on that. And just trying to figure out what I can do with these things. Not that I have a whole lot of them, but I hate throwing things away. And he gave me a couple of options to play with. So I just wanted to say, thanks to Adam for that. And I put a video up in the chat there just recently. I made what I call the mesh tie stick antenna. So I took my Faraday and I ironed it onto a tie and added a mesh tie stick node to that, and you can just wear it, and it's a pretty nice, slick little unit, and it was a lot of fun to build. So anyways, that's about all I got.
Okay, very good. Well, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that. And to throw out a little more detail, things that I've recently used iron powder toroids for are building low-pass filters for the output of a QCX amplifier, the QRP Labs 50-watt amplifier. I built it and wanted it to be multi-band, so I used some of those smaller iron powder toroids along with some capacitors to build some low-pass filters. So that's a good application for them. The QRP, what is it? ARCI? No, sorry, EARCI. That's CHI. That's the one. EARCHI. Antenna is multi-band end-fed antenna, emergency amateur radio club. I think they're in Hawaii or Honolulu. They have a antenna design that uses some of those -2 red iron powder toroids to make a random wire antenna. So there's a couple of fun projects that you could use those toroids for.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually, so here's one thing I found kind of interesting. I've been playing with the Faraday taper, the Faraday fabric, and my random stick antenna, which is a carbon fiber mast with just a Faraday fabric strip up the side of it. I just run that bare bones into an antenna tuner and then into my 991A. Now I've run it straight into my 991A because it'll tune up on 40 and 15 no problem. And it occurs to me that I don't think it necessarily needs a balun or an unon. It just needs something to kind of get rid of that common mode. And I kind of thinking that maybe I can use these as just a one-to-one through there and just make sure that, at least I'm not letting the magic smoke out of my radio. But anyways, I don't want to be tying up everybody's time on this. I very much appreciate you giving me the mic for a couple seconds here, and I'll let you everybody all be.
Yeah, appreciate you. Yeah, awesome.
You're good, man. The ferrite toroids are either -43 or 31 mix are generally going to be a little better as a choke. But give it a try, and if you have a nano VNA, you can even do some testing to see how well they work for that function.
Sweet, I'll do that.
Right on. Cool. Thanks for joining us. I am literally reinstalling WSJTX right now because it is all screwed up in the sauce, but it was working on the last one, but it wasn't telling me that people were calling me. That's really weird. Oh, Shane. We missed Shane. You still there, man? Shane? Going once.
I'm always here, buddy.
Yeah, talk about your YouTube. What are you guys doing out there on the YouTube exactly?
Well, if you're looking at my call sign and my YouTube channel, there's not much going on, but you can join me and 5 of my friends over on the Ham Radio Clubhouse every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock Central Time, where we talk about sometimes ham radio, most of the time not ham radio, but it's a fun show for everybody to come and hang out. Just enjoy the escape from social media for a couple hours.
There you go. So go check them out too. I'll drop the link for that. And yeah, you guys got to jump at me if I'm not hitting you. I'm seeing people I know, and I'm jumping at the people that I'm most familiar with. So I'm going to go back up. Ham Radio Tectonics, are you there, bud? Oh, no, he's gone. He's gone. All the way gone. Well, okay, who did I get? This is your last call. Otherwise, I got to figure out this WSJTX stuff. Go back to questions. All right, we're going to go back to questions. So who, anywhere, anytime, whatever, for ham radio, you got questions, let's take them. Anybody, anywhere, go.
1-to-1 Ballon, the wizard, go.
1-to-1 Ballon.
What's the question about it?
I found in a box a coax in, 2-wire out from LDG, 200 water. What can I use that for? Can I use it for a log on the ground or loop on the ground? Can I use it for a delta? What can I use that for?
Yeah, you got a lot of options there. I would say generally it's probably intended for a dipole. For I think a loop on the ground or a delta loop up in the air, you probably are going to be leaning more toward a 4-to-1 un because of the impedance transformation you need. But yeah, I would say a dipole is probably your most likely application there.
Thank you, Adam.
Yeah, sure thing.
All right, who's next? All the questions, let's take them. Oh, there's one.
Got a question about recording. Oh,
I got an easy one, and I'll go back to it. Is the HRCC talk group on Brandmeister still used? Yeah, all of them are still open, so you can do P25, D-Star, Yaesu System Fusion, and DMR. They're all interconnected. We don't have the weekly net like we had in the past, and I think it's just because we don't have like a net op who really wants to run it. That's really what the thing is. So if someone wants to run that, we'd take you. You just got to contact me, and then we'll go from there. All right. Go. Next question. Go for it.
So the question I had, I do a lot of portable work, and I do want to record for YouTube and stuff like that. What would be the best setup, I guess, to so everybody can hear everything that's going on, including my voice, contacts coming in?
You're talking about setting up a radio at home or in the field, or what are we talking about?
It's all portable. So this radio is going to be in my semi. I travel all over the United States every week.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to have something so I could do maybe a little bit of live streaming, stuff like that.
It can get really complicated. Are you trying to have multiple cameras, multiple audio feeds? What's your ultimate goal when you get to all the end of this?
So camera-wise, I have to keep it legal. So I am not allowed to record myself if the truck is moving. But I'm allowed to record the road.
Okay.
I would like for people to be able to hear who's talking to me, and also myself. I know them hearing me is going to be the easy part. It's just getting into the point to where I can have the feed from the radio, so they can also hear like the radio as well.
So I'm not saying you're overcomplicating the solution, but to get started, this is literally just a phone that's pointed out the front window, and then you just have a speaker on the radio, and you're recording your own voice that's picked up by the phone, right?
Yes, that could work, but the road noise along with wind noise, you pretty much wouldn't be able to hear the radio very well. Like, I understand that I could like move a speaker closer to the phone or camera or whatever I decide to use. But I was trying to like something that was a little bit nicer, so it's like a direct audio in.
Then you're almost like gonna have to go down the mixer road, right? Where you start feeding audio interfaces into a mixer and then feeding that into your phone.
Well, hey, Joss, wait a second. What radios do you have?
The radio that I use in the truck is a 891.
Gotcha. I was just thinking if you had a radio that had built-in recording, where you could record straight to an SD card or something. But
I think he said
891 doesn't do that.
He wanted a live stream.
Got it.
Yeah. So if you're
the transmitters from my DJI mics and stick it right on the side of the
that's another option. You plug the mic packs into, and the mic packs have pretty good isolation, but the question is, how do you balance them, right? That's the big thing. You'd have to figure out how to balance it. You'd control that by the volume out of the radio, but you want the radio to be loud enough that you can hear it, but also enough that you can still pipe it into the show without it being overdriven. So you'd probably have to drop the gain on one of the receivers. Sorry, one of the transmitters, and then pipe that into the phone. Yeah. So just so I want to be brutally honest with you, if possible. You're gonna start a live stream and you're gonna drive down the road and make HF contacts. Is that your plan?
If possible, the HF contact thing, that's the easy part, because like in the truck, I rock a foot switch to where I literally just have to hit a switch to activate the radio.
Okay. And okay. Yeah, I think that would all work. Here's my thing, and I'm again brutally honest. Are you gonna go back and you're not gonna edit these? You're just gonna make a live stream with a truck driving down the road, looking out the front glass, making HF contacts?
Yeah, kind of like an ASMR kind of thing.
Okay. I don't see a huge viewership for that, to be honest with you, but maybe I'm wrong. This is one of those things where I'm like, try it and see, because no one's really doing this, so you'd be like the first one doing it. I know that when you go out and do a pod activation, I cut a lot of the contacts out because like there's only so much time that people want to spend actually watching some other person make contacts.
What was the question?
He's going to take a camera and point it out the front of his semi truck going down the road, and then the audio coming in to the live stream would be his HF contacts that he's making.
Huh.
And that would be
you
the
would
live
be
stream.
surprised.
Try it.
40 to 80 people watching me make
Try
contacts in the park
on
a live stream. Can't do it in a regular video, but on a live stream, you'd be surprised the people that watch.
Yeah,
There's
try
a couple trucker streams on Twitch.
Yeah. There's so actually okay. Yeah, that you got two little Venn diagrams that are coming over the top of each other. It's like a trucker stream, and so people might just be interested in that. But then they get the added benefit of hearing people talking on the radio. That's true. That's a good point too. Yeah.
It was just an idea that I have. Like, I used to shoot YouTube a long while ago, and a lot of my content was all pew-pew content.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of not really an awesome thing, especially when you're a smaller channel on YouTube. They don't really like that very much anymore.
Right.
So that kind of went the way of the dodo due to just the restrictions. Especially because like the stuff I was doing was more gunsmithing stuff, because that's what I went to school for. So it was they every video that I ever made, they pretty much now consider is you're modifying something, even though you're not modifying anything.
Mm-hmm.
You're fixing stuff.
Right.
So that's just not an option. And I really did enjoy making YouTube videos. It was fun. It's a hobby. It's not really a means to any type of end or anything. It's just fun.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to find a different way to get back into it and have fun with it.
Well, you got the right attitude, so I would explore exactly what you said. Just try it. Like, try it and, report back and do it for, like, you got to be streaming a pretty decent amount. Do it for, like, a month, and then, come back and let us know how it goes. I'm curious, because there's nobody really doing anything like that. You're like the first.
I have a thought.
Okay, go ahead.
I watch not a lot, but I do watch Eric on Ham Radio Concepts, and he's been doing a bunch of shorts with 10 meters and stuff, or 11 meters.
Mm-hmm.
The thought is he's a train wreck to watch.
Okay.
And you'll be a lot better than that. So, and there's a bunch of people watch him. I do too, but you'll do better than that, is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to encourage you, not discourage, okay?
Okay. But you remember, he's trying to live stream, right? So it's a different kind of thing than shorts. And second, Eric has a still pretty large subscriber base, right? So you're talking about somebody that's trying to break into the world of this crazy radio communication world that we now have, right? Where there's a lot of people that are trying to get a foothold and trying to, grow a channel. It's tough now. It's actually kind of really hard. So I see where he's going, and trying something new is always the best way to find something that no one else is doing. But that's.
Is your channel in the stream chat?
No, I didn't want to post it because I don't have the videos that are up right on my channel are 9-ish years old. It's the only ones that YouTube would allow me to pretty much keep on my channel. And they're hey, how to properly disassemble this said pistol or whatever.
This is a new channel. You're talking about a new channel, right?
No, I'm re-going.
Don't do that.
The channel that aired.
Don't do that. No, if you've salted the earth with YouTube on the channel, they're not going to monetize you. If you hit gold with what you're trying to do, make a new channel. YouTube will not. You cannot get yourself in the good graces of YouTube right now with the channel you have. Make a new channel. Start fresh. Start cranking. Just crank, and see how it goes.
All right, copy that. And the other stuff that I was gonna do is because I get to travel a lot. I'm driving somewhere close to 50 to 400 miles a week, and go through multiple like Joshua Tree. I go through there every single week. I go through a whole bunch of other parks and preserves and stuff that I can actually activate on lunch or something like that. I was thinking about adding those to it as well, if possible.
Dude, yeah, totally. But again, just try it. We've already talked too much about it. This is at the point now where you have to go implement, right? Make it happen. So you already got a channel idea. Somebody said Ham Truckin' is the idea for the new channel name. There you go. That's something to work with.
I copy that. Well, yeah, then I'll start a new channel that's. I had somebody else also to tell me you should probably just start a new channel if you're going to do that.
Yep. All right. So I have a problem. Yeah, hold on one second, Zach. So I have got the weirdest experience on WSJTX I've ever seen. So I'm getting somebody that calls me and it's not presenting as red. It's just white. It shows up on the frequency. KD2YQS replied to me and it's not red. So the application is not replying to it. I've never seen this in my life. I don't know what is happening right now. This is a wild, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. That's weird. Has anybody experienced this before? Because I'm not. Nobody that calls me, my call sign, which is right here, is showing up as red when I call. I can't make any QSOs.
So I've managed to do this when somehow I had mistyped my call sign, but I just I've had a similar experience where I've changed my call sign for an activation and then failed to set it back. Only thing like that.
Yeah, it's all good. All of it's good right now. This is really weird. I haven't touched it. This is the same setup that I had when I was last on WSJTX. So I don't know what's going on. There are plenty of people that are seeing me. Just because you're not seeing me, that's okay. But yeah, that's weird. I don't know what's going on. I've never experienced this before. This is a weird one. Like I made one QSO by manually clicking the white call signs that were calling me. This is wild. Okay, somebody in there was going to ask a question. Go ahead.
Hey, not a question, but a real quick comment regarding the whole ham radio trucker thing. Just not discouraging it, but I want to caution that there are some pretty crappy people out there, and you are, as a trucker, that's your business, your job. So be considerate of maybe, instead of showing out the dash where somebody can call you out on your driving or call the DOT on you, either show the scenery to the outside the cab, or put the background out focus and focus on some bobbleheads or something on the dash. I just don't want you to get some crappy people calling DOT or your boss or somebody and get you in some heat. So
that's actually not a bad idea, because there's a lot of jerks out there. That's true. That is true. It sucks so bad that, like, just going live now, people just want to mess with people that are doing that. It's crazy. It's so crazy. But yeah, it happens to all of us.
Could I throw something else out there?
Okay, why not?
So this is a rare POTA activation that's going to be coming up next week. I'm not involved in it, but a crew from my area in Pennsylvania is going down to Dry Tortugas, which is an island off the south coast of Florida.
I heard about this. You're camping down there, right?
Yeah, they will. So they're starting on Wednesday of this week and will go until Monday of next week. So I don't have frequencies, but keep an eye on the POTA spot, and they'll be active.
Nice. Okay. Good shout out to them. Yeah, the dry torch. So my understanding, I was talking to, actually this came up on Ham Nation. This was brought up on Ham Nation, and Amanda was familiar with their. By the way, the dry tortugas are rare, but they're not like impossible rare. There's a lot of hams that go down there, and the story I understand and I'm told is that if you're going to do tortugas, you should camp, because then you get a decent amount of time to put up an antenna and actually make some contacts, because otherwise you have a very short time span. It's the day pass is pretty short. So camping is the way to go at the Tortugas. But it's a complete dry camp. You have to pack everything in.
Do you have a call sign that we can use to put into ham alert?
Oh yeah, good call. Oh, I think he just said he doesn't yet.
I do have that. Give me one second.
Oh, you do? Okay, good. I think maybe I have to restart the computer. I think that's where we're at right now. So, no FT8 contacts tonight. But I was getting out gangbusters on. I was getting out DX on 40, which is crazy. I was getting all the way into the Europeans.
I heard here in New York, no problem.
What's that? There's too many people
I was seeing you here in New York, no problem.
Well, that's crazy. So yeah, I heard you earlier too, Josh. Lots of people hearing me. I know that from this, but WSJTX is not recognizing anybody calling me. So I'm gonna stop calling, and we're gonna wrap up the show.
I'm not hearing you, Josh. I'm not seeing you in my waterfall.
Okay. Well, sorry, Gray Man.
Yeah, Josh, I've got a -3 reception report on your band activity monitor, but I can't hear you at all.
It's really weird. This whole thing's weird. I'm just gonna I'm gonna end the live stream here shortly, and then I'll just I'll figure it out tomorrow. That's a problem for future Josh, as we call it. Go ahead with the call sign for the POTA.
Yeah, so they'll be using N4T, November 4 Tango.
Nice. Excellent. All right. Any other questions that we didn't get to? This is literally your last call until next week, and then come join us. Ha! Alas. Paul, go ahead. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, I've been staring at tuners, remote tuners, and the MAT 50 seems to be the closest I can get for a 100-watt digital remote tuner. Anybody else have any other suggestions?
Why stop at 100 watts? Why not go the full 1500? Is that something you'd be interested in?
That sounds like a very expensive upgrade.
It is, yes.
It's only dollars.
I have I'm behind me, behind the green screen is a 1500 remote tuner. Like full remote. Like literally the tuner goes out to the wire and then it's got a control box. And I've got to try and set it up tomorrow.
I just want to know how I sound on Discord.
You sound great, Jamescan.
Sound good.
But
Really
going back to Paul,
Cool.
when you say remote tuner, you mean just an external tuner, something close to the operating position, right?
No, I'm specifically saying outside because the problem is my operating position happens to be across the house. So it means I've got 70, 80 feet of wire, and I love non-resonant antennas, and that doesn't play so hot.
What radio?
The FTDX10.
So 100 watts.
More importantly, what antenna do you need the tuner for?
Long wire. Here we go.
Ah, okay.
I'm guessing. I don't know.
I 9-to-1 or a Roybakov.
Oh. Huh. You wouldn't need it with a Rybakov, do you? Or am I wrong? I don't know that antenna very well.
It's just it's a very carefully picked non-resonant. It's basically a 9-to-1, except there's some differences on the math. But
okay.
The reason why I ask is on some antennas. I mean, if the SWR isn't too crazy, I mean, if you're not into 10-to-1 or more, or even 20-to-1, sometimes it doesn't even pay to put such an expensive piece of gear out at the base of the antenna or at the antenna location. SWR, the mismatch loss is in a good piece of coax is pretty negligible, even up to 100 feet plus. So it may be something you want to look at.
Yeah, most of the time when people tell me that they want to put a remote tuner somewhere, it's because they're literally attaching a wire to that tuner, or like it's a flagpole base antenna, and then they have some kind of a ground radial system. That's like their goal, is that they just want to put a hunk of wire in the air and tune that up. That's why they need a remote tuner, versus if you are just long distance-ish, 50 feet or something, coax-wise, the internal tuner's probably fine. I guess try it before you go, because the coax run's going to be the same coax run. You can just use the internal tuner and try it out.
Oh yeah, I've been operating for the last 2 years with this setup, using remote tuner or using the tuner in the radio, and I just recognize that means that I'm putting potentially 2 to 3 to 1, depends on the situation, SWR through it, and tuners handles it fine, but that's a lot of loss there.
That's actually not a lot of loss. I could do the calc real quick, but even 3 to 1, the return loss, the SWR loss is only going to be about a dB, maybe 2 at the most. Assuming you're using something like LMR 400.
So I would agree with you on 7 or on 40 or 80 meters. I get a bit more on calculators when I'm looking at 10.
I'm sorry, you're at 10 meters?
Well, I mean, I'm on every band I can get, but it just the lower bands, the ones with the lost numbers matter. I wouldn't care on 40.
Yeah.
The higher bands, higher frequency is what you're saying.
Yeah, I think you got that backwards.
Yeah. Yes.
So just to give you an example, with a 3-to-1 mismatch in LMR 400 at 28 megahertz, your matched loss is about 0.6 of a dB, and your SWR loss is about 0.3. So your total loss is a dB,
which is not that big a deal.
It's just it's almost negligible. So I mean, if you're anticipating, a mismatch of 3-to-1. It's an expensive piece of gear to have to keep outside, and for a match that's essentially going to be almost nothing.
I am going to go play with more loss calculators because that was not the math that I got when I was looking at it earlier today.
Yeah, I just did it. I've got it in my calculator. But see, I'm trying to think. The one online that's actually pretty good. Oh boy, it's a 5 in his call, and I can't remember the. Hold on, I can look it up real quick.
Well, I mean, look.
I believe you because that isn't that I haven't double checked the specifics of the loss number.
AV5R.com has a great loss calculator.
Well, it sounds like, Paul, you probably look into how much gain do you get out of doing this, right? Like at this point. So if it were me, I'd put some gain behind that. Like if you're like getting the tuner out there, the loss you're saving is minimal. If you wanted something that would be, kind of spicy, like let's get some gain up there. Can you actually put a Yagi up or something like that?
No, that is part of the reason here is that I basically can't, and so, I mean, I could do something in the house, but that's about it.
I see. Have you considered a full wave loop around the entire perimeter of your property?
I have.
We all have. Late at night, thinking, if I put up a couple of telephone poles, could I put... Go ahead.
My home in Maine, back years ago as a kid, I had a rhombic. Everything pales in comparison. Everything is a compromise since that antenna.
All right, sorry, Paul. Go ahead.
Well, no, I'll just say, that is true. That I guess an amp is less expensive than moving somewhere I could put up a rhombic.
Very true.
Yeah. So is your problem that you're not heard and you're hearing a lot of stations, or you just don't hear anything?
No, so I've gotten to the point where there's a small number of DX stations that I can hear reasonably regularly that are on the limits of my range, and I can't get to them except very rarely. So it's like any Middle Eastern station I hear, maybe I'm going to be able to get there. And so I know that I've got some room with the existing receive sensitivity I've got.
Okay. Man. So the problem is if you go amp, then you're going to basically have to have an external tuner at that point. Because if you need the tuner for whatever it is that's out there, you're going to need an external tuner to handle the power, and you wouldn't use the internal tuner on the radio anymore. So you just went from one possibly expensive purchase to another possibly expensive purchase, even a more expensive purchase. But the advantage is you get more power output. So that's yeah.
I mean, the internal tuner, the internal match, transmatch in your radio is more than sufficient if you think you've got a 3-to-1, maximum 3-to-1 mismatch across the band. I think that's
right.
It's fantastic, and I don't think you really need anything past that.
But he's saying he's not getting picked up by the stations that he can hear. So now he's looking at power.
Yeah, even with an amplifier, you won't. In fact, I wouldn't put the external tuner out from past experience. I probably wouldn't do, unless it was very beefy, and I've built a few, unless it was something fairly beefy. If you're looking to run some QRO, I wouldn't use an external tuner at all. In fact, it's such, you're going to end up swamping a lot of that out anyways in the run. I don't know how long the run is. I'm assuming it's 50 feet or more out to the antenna. So I don't think you're going to buy anything with that.
No, but where I'm going with that is, so if you get an amp, right? So let's get he gets an amp, puts it outside his transmitter. His amp's going to be picky about the received impedance or the transmitted impedance, and so he's going to need a tuner outside that amp to be able to put out the power to whatever that antenna is he's got outside.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. At either location, whether it was inside or outside, I think you'll be
right.
fine.
Right. For an amp, though, an amp's going to need a consistent impedance.
Yeah, I mean, I run a Palstar here, and I have one that I built that I switch in and out depending on whether I'm running on a dipole or I'm running on an NFED or the vertical. So I switch tuners out, but all that's in here except for the random dipole, which actually has a balance tuner buried out in the yard. That's actually buried in the ground.
Yeah. Does that help Paul at all? Paul, is that thought points?
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely worth. I'll go back and relook at the loss math. And I think, I mean, I guess the question is, I still don't actually know of a 100-watt remote tuner. The answer may just be that's not a market point, because at a certain point, if that's what you want, maybe it's legal limit or kilowatt.
There is one. It's complete overkill. If you go on the, is it the Real Ladder, the Real Ladder site? He makes a remote tuner. It's a gigabuck, and it's gorgeous, and it'll handle more power than you could pop. It's built like a commercial tuning unit, but it is remote. It would do everything that you wanted.
There you go.
All right, thanks. Yeah, because otherwise I'm just finding 100 watts SSB, 30 watts digital is like what the limits are.
So I got a comment from Rolla. What's up, Rolla? And he's asking, what's the origin story of Dick Butt meme and ham radio? So the Dick Butt meme has nothing to do with ham radio. Nothing. They might have used it, but it's existed before it got adopted into ham radio. I personally think it's hilarious. That's my personal connection with that, but that's it. there's no deep lore there. Mark, I see W. You can see it in my chat. W6TRW. I see it, but I can't. I mean, I'm replying to it, but it's not red. It's not red, so the app's like, hey, that's nothing to me. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna have to shut this whole thing down, man. It's getting crazy out here.
I think we can make the contact. I did a power sequence going from 100 watts all the way down to 10 watts, and you can see it in the dB readings. Everything seems to be working right.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I don't know why the app is just not acknowledging my call sign. It's like, oh, who are you? I don't know what's going on. It's really weird. I am using PySlice, but PySlice it should be all set up because I've been using it for weeks now. But I don't know. Now I'm transmitting to you, and I'm not getting anything back, so don't know what's going on. It's real weird. Now, I will say, nothing. Now here we go. Here's my, I don't know if anybody saw my ham sign short that I posted. Not a lot. Not a lot of people watch this. But in the end, I did a pan of a laptop running Smart SDR with the CTR2 controller, which is this guy. Let me show this real fast. Yeah. CTR2 little controller, the MIDI one in particular. So I'm sitting in the Delta Lounge in Orlando. Oh, there we go. We got it going. And I can't make it not do triple R. My app's all screwed up. It's got to be my app because it's making me do triple R instead of RR73. But okay, fine. Anyway, so I'm sitting in the Delta Lounge, and I've got my laptop out. I'm on the Delta Wi-Fi on Smart SDR, tunneled home Awesome. Tunneled home, secure tunnel into node red. I'm moving the antenna around, and I'm chasing POTA, and everybody's quietly sitting, eating their little Delta Lounge snack food. And then you hear KI6NAZ, Kilo India 6, November Alpha Zulu. And I'm chasing POTA in the Delta Lounge on my Flex at home. Awesome. So fun. It was so much fun. It was so cool. I can't wait to do more of that stuff. That was awesome. But anyway, that's my story.
Yeah, I wondered what that was when I saw that. At first, I thought it was a trackball or something you were using.
No, it's a little dial, and it's literally this big.
Josh, have you seen his new one?
I have. Yeah, he's gonna send me one. I should have a video going on the MIDI and the Mini. So the MIDI is probably what most people will gravitate towards. You can plug a key in that. You can use that as a VFO. It's pretty fun. The Mini is like crazy. Like you can telnet into that thing. I'm SSHing into the Mini to set up Wi-Fi and doing all this other crap. It is crazy the stuff you can do with the Mini. It's a different item.
Did you see that that uses the Seed Studios ESP32 chip?
Is that what it is? It's ESP32? Yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah.
Well, but it's Seed Studios, but that it has a battery charger on it, so you could actually put a battery in it. You wouldn't even have to connect it to a power source externally.
Oh, interesting. Well, the cool thing about this is I just plug it into my my USB bank, the little Nano. I don't plug it into the phone or anything like that. I just plug it into a battery and it just starts running, and then it Bluetooths to my phone.
Yeah,
or
because you're
Wi-Fi.
doing everything over Bluetooth. But you could have an onboard battery and wouldn't even have to have the external battery bank.
They're quite impressive for the size and everything. I carry the MIDI around with me everywhere pretty much now. But
yeah, I've actually got one sitting on the bench getting ready to build it.
So, all right, I got to head out because I think we got to record a podcast. I don't even know where my wife's at. So we'll figure that out, I guess. I guess I'll go wrestle the kids and get them in bed. Yeah, that's it for me. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. And next week, same thing. Get on Discord. Be ready. And by the way, don't wait for the Saturday. Just ask your questions in ham radio or ham radio questions. And you'll get like so many answers from people that are cool. Nobody's messing with you. That's the point about our YouTube, our Discord channels. We don't let anybody be jerks. It's all good stuff, all good vibes. Question, what headphones am I using? Always. These are the Bear Dynamics. Bear Dynamics DT77 Pro. These things rock. Absolutely love them. Although I did get a new set of in-ear monitors, so that's these guys. I was playing around with them a little bit. Those are going in my travel bag. I'm going to head out, though. So, guys, thank you, everybody on the Discord. Thanks for hanging out. I will talk to you later, okay?
7 twos, Josh.
7 twos to everybody. See ya.
72s.
All right. I am tired, and I'm not even started with the podcast, so I'm going to wrap things up here and go figure out where my wife is at. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate you. I will talk to you real soon. 73. Enjoy the memes.
Let's play a game. You don't even have a call sign.
Pissing me off that it's not mixing up the memes a little bit. I'm sitting here watching it like just once, maybe twice. That's it. I'm getting a little mad. There we go. That's a new one. No, that's not new. Okay. I'm watching my own memes right now for quality control. This is the QA that I put in, guys. This is what I'm doing. See, I got this Kyle one like 4 times. I love Kyle, but geez. Come on now. We get it. We get it. We saw that one too. Show me another one. Okay, good. Also good. All right. That's new. See, OBS started noticing that I'm watching right now. Very good. That's one of my favorites. That is still one of my favorites. Good. That's a great K6ARK meme. That's also good. Good. These are all different now. It's mixing it up. See, now it's figured out how random numbers work. See, this is not random. Well, I guess I don't know what's going on anymore. It used to just roll through all of them. We already saw this one too. Where's my new memes? I got new memes. I haven't seen them once. This is an old one. It's an old meme. Okay, I'm done. All right, guys. I will. I don't know. 73, everybody. See this one. We've seen this so many times now. God, I'm getting pissed. I'm getting pissed off. This too. I already saw this. I need a better assortment of memes. That's still a good one though. That's one of my favorites. All right, 73, everybody. Take it easy.